From lying to viewers to being involved with the FBI, here's our list of evil secrets the Kardashians spent millions to cover up. The Kar-Jenners grew up on screen for all of us to see, and while there was drama on screen, apparently there was some behind the scenes as well. When the show first started in 2007, it said that the Kardashians, especially Kendall and Kylie, were very nice to the crew for the show. But as the years went on and they got more famous, they turned into monsters who had no respect for those who worked on the show. According to The Sun, the Kardashians repeatedly berated crew members and made unreasonable demands on anyone in their path. Additionally, the girls often try to direct what happens or demand multiple reshoots of simple moments on the show to place themselves in the best light they can at the expense of the rest of the family and crew, a source said. Now, this isn't a good look for them at all, and they should honestly be ashamed. Now, Kim Kardashian's marriage to Kris Humphries was something, let me tell you. Now, they dated for 6 months before they got married, and this might be due to all the money that they were making or were going to make. Kim was paid $1.5 million by People magazine for their wedding photos alone. They also got $300,000 for their engagement announcement, and then was given even more for both her bridal shower and honeymoon pictures. Not to mention, the pair got a bonus check from airing their wedding on Keeping Up. But things went downhill after that though, as just 72 days later, Kim filed for divorce from Kris. Yep, the marriage only lasted 72 days, which is honestly just embarrassing. Now, Kris was blindsided by this as he felt that they were truly in love, but he cited fraud as a reason for wanting an annulment. Now, Kim's paperwork stated irreconcilable differences for hers. Now, following their split, Kris's lawyer told a Los Angeles fraud court that Kim had no intentions of proceeding with this marriage. Jonathan Jackson, who worked with Kim between 2007 and 2009, said the pair's union was a publicity stunt. Speaking on Good Day LA back in 2011, Jackson said, 2 weeks prior to her wedding, she knew it was not something she wanted to do. Unfortunately, they were obligated to honor contracts with E!, the network which had TV rights, otherwise they would have owed a lot of people a lot of money. Now, this is so unfortunate, especially for Kris, as he was practically used. And then there's everything that happened with Lamar Odom and Khloe. Throughout 2013, countless stories circulated about Lamar cheating on his wife Khloe. Later on, Lamar admitted to struggling with addiction and infidelity from early on in his marriage to Khloe. There were too many strippers to count, he said in his memoir. Now, Khloe actually grew suspicious and hired a private investigator to track her husband. And while all this was going on, the couple put on a happy front on keeping up with the Kardashians and their own spin-off show, Khloe and Lamar. Now, in 2013, an insider claimed Khloe had not only photographic proof that Lamar cheated on her with at least 5 different women, but had copies of text messages between Lamar and the other women. She is a very smart woman and knew she had to get the proof because of the infidelity clause in their prenup, the source said. Though Khloe would later talk about Lamar's cheating on Keeping Up, she didn't do so until his cheating was widely publicized. And all of Lamar's issues were publicized by the Kardashians themselves. You see, not everyone in the family knew about the substance misuse and the cheating, but someone in the family was tired of it. It said that it wasn't until Rob Kardashian learned of Lamar's dark secrets that he helped push Lamar out. While it hasn't been validated, Lamar still claims to this day that it was the Kardashians who revealed his dark secrets to the press, which then drove a wedge between him and Khloe. Now, Lamar even said that Kris Jenner orchestrated an incident after their divorce to get more press surrounding their broken relationship. But of course, no one in this family would admit to all of that though. And then there's the fact that pretty much all the Kar-Jenners have gotten some sort of plastic surgery and have never admitted to it. In addition to that, some of them have even had their plastic surgery removed or reversed and lie and say they've been working out or have just been eating healthy. But I mean, we all know the truth. Now, a lot of people have pointed out that Kim has had liposuction and fat implants, but she has denied it. And then, after her daughter North was born, it was even more apparent that she got more work done, but once again, she denied it, but we seem to know the truth. There have been rumors since the beginning of time that Khloe Kardashian is not actually a Kardashian at all, and now we may have some proof. Numerous sources have reported that Kris Jenner told Robert Kardashian repeatedly that Khloe was not his daughter. According to RadarOnline.com, they also claim Kris paid her hairdresser, Alex Rowland, $30 million in a non-disclosure agreement to keep quiet about the situation, as some people claim that he's actually her father. Now this makes sense because Kris Jenner is known for being a serial cheater, so it very well could be a possibility. Now, Kim Kardashian was investigated by the FBI after getting $250,000 in a trash bag. Yep, you heard that right. Now, according to a March 2023 Bloomberg Businessweek report, Kim was questioned by the feds as a part of an investigation and a mogul at the center of an embezzlement scandal. Now, in 2019, Kim told the FBI that she once played baccarat in a Las Vegas casino with Lowe and others when she ended up winning big. Now, Lowe allegedly told Kim to keep the chips she won, which were worth $350,000. Now, Kim told the FBI when she went to the casino counter to cash out, she was handed $250,000 in a trash bag full of 100 bills. Now, she put the trash bag full of cash in her carry-on bag and boarded a Southwest Airlines flight back to Los Angeles, the FBI agents wrote. Now, on a later trip to Vegas, Kim collected the remaining $100,000, again in a trash bag full of cash, which is honestly just weird. Now, Kim Kardashian has been accused of mistreating her workers by not paying them, which is messed up. In May 2021, Kim was sued by 7 workers accusing her of wage theft, retaliation, and more. The complaint alleged that cleaning and maintenance workers at her Santa Monica home weren't paid for all the hours they worked, didn't get overtime pay, weren't given required meal and rest breaks, and didn't get any pay stubs or documents related to employment. Kim has largely tried to deflect the blame by saying this was the fault of a company she hired to manage the workers. Now, the case, which was ongoing, has been pushed under the rug by the family, who never addressed the scandal themselves. And apparently, a lot of keeping up with the Kardashians was fake. Now, Kris Humphries spoke out about this after his short-lived marriage to Kim. He told a source, "Kris says that Kim's reality shows are a total sham. He doesn't think there's anything real about the shows at all." Now, the source also references one of the most quoted scenes of the show, in which Kim loses an earring after being thrown into the ocean by Kris during a family trip. Kim was crying hysterically, but then miraculously, one of the younger sisters found the earring in the ocean, where the group had been swimming. But they said that Kim didn't actually lose her earring, that the move was a publicity stunt to get views, the source said. Which, yeah, I do honestly believe this point. And finally, we have to address Kim's adult film that was released with her ex, Ray J. Now, in 2007, the tape was leaked online, and it's how Kim rose to fame. The talk of the tape was a prominent topic on the first season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and it made Ray J a villain. But Ray J has since come out and said that he had nothing to do with the tape being released, and that it was all up to Kim and her mother, Kris. He said, "I sat in the shadow for over 14 years, allowing the Kardashians to use my name, to abuse my name, making billions of dollars over a decade and a half, talking about a topic I've never really spoken about. I've never leaked anything. I've never leaked a tape in my life." Now, Ray J claims that Kim and Kris negotiated the release of the tape in the early 2000s. Kris apparently watched 3 different Ray J and Kim tapes and chose to leak the one that gave her daughter a better look, which honestly is just gross. Now, Ray J also claimed that Kim has the videotapes in a box under her bed and that he's never been in possession of the tapes. Now, Kris Jenner has denied playing a role in the whole scandal, but Ray J says she's lying and that it was all her plan. In an interview on the Call Her Daddy podcast, Khloe Kardashian revealed how much each family member gets paid for starring on the reality show. Now, Khloe confirmed long-standing speculation that everyone in her family, including Kris Jenner, Kourtney Kardashian, Kim Kardashian, Kendall Jenner, and Kylie Jenner, all get paid equally for their Hulu reality show, The Kardashians. Now, when host Alex Cooper asked Khloe if it was true that you and your sisters are all paid the same amount on The Kardashians, Kardashians during a lightning round of questions on the April 16th episode, Khloe said true. In a follow-up question, Alex asked Khloe if she and her family members, all of whom serve as executive producers on the series, are allowed to cut any footage that you don't like. Yes, Khloe says, but it's more vanity things that we would cut, she added. Khloe noted that her mom will occasionally request a cut, and Khloe emphasized that her storylines more or less air as they happen. As she noted, there are plenty of more substantial moments involving herself that she would have loved to cut from the series but didn't. I mean, trust me, she says with a laugh. I would have cut way other I've never cut anything crazy. Now, with all of these sisters getting paid the same, it kind of makes sense why Kim has gotten mad at Kourtney over the years for not being on the show as much and not being open, because they're all being paid the same amount, even though Kim is usually the one who does the most work. Khloe has called out her older sister Kim about her parenting style and being a hypocrite. Now, the two sisters were caught fighting in an episode of their show, and their mother Kris Jenner even got involved, and she's on Khloe's side. In the episode, Kim explained that her daughter North was in China with her father Kanye, and Kim had been video chatting with her. Now, while Khloe doesn't interrupt Kim checking in with her daughter, she says in a confessional, "You're the one, not even a year ago, is fighting with me for saying goodnight to my child, and you were on the phone with North for a couple of hours." Now, clips are then played where Kim can be seen aggressively schooling Khloe on maintaining a healthy distance from her children every now and then. "Get away from your kids, live your effing life," Kim says. Then Kris speaks up and says, "We've spent more than half the trip on the phone with your children. You gave her so much for checking in with her kids," said Kris. Now, Khloe immediately added, "For 3 minutes, like I made sure they were short because I didn't want to be rude." But yeah, I totally understand Khloe's frustrations with this, and it's good that she called Kim out. Khloe also revealed that her family has a hard time trusting people. Why? Well, Khloe says her former personal therapist betrayed her and leaked guarded secrets from her private life during her troubles with her then-husband, Lamar Odom. Khloe revealed in a new interview that she sought help in 2013 as her relationship with Lamar was not looking good. Now, Khloe and Lamar were reported in the news to have been in private couples counseling for months at a time. Now, although Khloe did not detail who the mental health provider was, she did tell Bustle that she has no doubts as to what private information was released. The reality star said, "I remember I was going to therapy, and the next thing I knew, something private I told my therapist was on a tabloid. And I knew that my therapist disclosed this information to a tabloid because there's no way this could have gotten out there." She added, "It was very jarring and sort of unbelievable, but there's not a chance in the world that it came from anywhere else." So, due to this, she left her therapist, but wow, I can't imagine having to go through something like that. Therapists have a duty to protect their clients, and this one just did the opposite. Khloe Kardashian just revealed that her brother Rob Kardashian might make an appearance on their reality show again. Now, Rob joined his family on Easter Sunday as her sister Kim posted a photo of all of them on her Instagram. Easter 2025, Kim captioned the post, "I couldn't get all the sisters, kids, aunts, cousins, and laughs in this pic, but the memories are so real. Happy Easter, everyone." Now, Rob brought his daughter Dream, who's 8, whom he shares with his ex Blac Chyna. Now, fans flooded Kim's comments with kind sentiments about Rob, who has stayed out of the limelight for years. But now, in a new interview, Khloe says he might make a return to the spotlight. Khloe teased her brother's possible return to reality TV during a panel with Scott Disick at Hulu's inaugural Get Real House event in Beverly Hills on Tuesday, April 22nd. When asked if she thinks Rob will make another rare appearance on the Kardashians, Khloe said, "I really do. I always have my faith and confidence in Rob." So it seems like fans will have to keep an eye out for him. Now, Khloe is not one to sit there and let someone drag her sister's name. So in 2022, when Kanye West brought an issue about Kim to social media, Khloe had none of it. Now, Kanye claimed that Kim basically kidnapped their daughter Chicago. "You are lying and are liars," he wrote on social media. "Y'all basically basically kidnapped Chicago on her birthday so she could remember her father not being there. Travis Scott gave me the address of my child's party. That's how y'all play with black fathers. But Khloe hit back at Kanye online, saying, I don't want to do this on social media, but you keep bringing it here. You are the father of my nieces and nephews, and I'm trying to be respectful, but please stop tearing Kimberly down and using our family when you want to deflect. Now, Khloe also implied that Kanye's repeated references to being excluded from Chicago's West birthday party were made up by the rapper. Again, with the birthday narrative, she continued, enough already. We all know the truth, and in my opinion, everyone's tired of it. You know exactly where your children are at all times, and you wanted separate birthdays. I have seen the text to prove it, and when you've changed your mind and when you wanted to attend, you came, she said. Now, Khloe has just admitted that both her sister Kim and her mom Kris knew of instances in which her exes Lamar Odom and Tristan Thompson cheated on her. Kim has known about the cheating. I think both of the cheating stuff. I think Kim found out first, Khloe said during an episode of Call Her Daddy, which is crazy. And then my mom with my ex-husband, she knew things before I did and had to tell me, Khloe said. Now, Kim was famously on camera when she learned about Tristan cheating on Khloe while she was pregnant with her first child, True Thompson. When Kim found out that Tristan was cheating on me, she was about to sit down for Keeping Up interviews, and it happened when she was in the interview chair, Khloe recalled. I don't know if as much would have been shown if that's not how it was unfolding in real time. We just happened to be filming all the effing time, she said. Now, while obviously upsetting, Khloe was glad that her family found out and told her. I would rather a family member than a stranger. I don't like that any of this stuff happened, but I would rather it them. I'm not someone that gets mad at the messenger, she said. And finally, Khloe is the main reason why people know about her family's affiliation with the disgraced music mogul Diddy. When Khloe was in high school, she actually interned with Diddy. She was with him in the studio and helped him with his show Making the Band. Now, Khloe has been very open about her friendship with Diddy, as she had him on an episode of her show Cocktails with Khloe in 2016, where the pair reminisced about their past. Now, Khloe also spoke with her sister Kourtney about Diddy's parties and just hanging out with Diddy in general. Khloe has also made many posts online talking about Diddy parties. She took to Instagram back in 2019 to share a series of pictures from a Diddy party, and she captioned the post, "Nothing like a Diddy party." In the pictures, she was seen posing alongside the rapper and her sisters, Kim and Kylie Jenner. Now, fans have been commenting on the pictures following P. Diddy's arrest, saying that the post hasn't aged well and should probably be deleted. But the thing is, it's still up on her page today. Now, we all know that Kim Kardashian has her brand Skims, and she has celebrities promote it in different types of ads, but in 2024, one of these celebrities was Lana Del Rey. However, in March, rumors started swirling that Lana was being sued for $1 million for allegedly failing to promote her 2024 Skims collaboration as an ad on social media. Now, the rumor gained significant traction after a tweet from Pop Tings on Twitter said, Kim Kardashian is reportedly suing Lana Del Rey over her Skims partnership, claiming the singer failed to disclose the post as an advertisement. Days before this rumor started, an article noted that Lana's Skims campaign was being reviewed by the National Advertising Division. NAD reviewed 3 Instagram posts by Lana from January 2024 that featured Skims, either mentioning the brand by name or tagging Skims. NAD noted that Skims had taken steps to ensure its contracted influencers comply with FTC guides, influencers, and monitoring its influencers to inform them of insufficient disclosures, they wrote in a statement. Now, Lana addressed these rumors though, saying, "No, this isn't happening," she wrote in response to being sued. "Not as far as either one of us know. I don't know where this started, but if it does for some reason have to happen because of guidelines, then we'll handle it. But never an end to a friendship," she said. Now, TMZ also confirmed the falsehood of the lawsuit, reporting that the claims were categorically false, according to a source close to the situation. So it seems like for now, Kim isn't suing her friend, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Kim and Khloe Kardashian have been caught fighting over their parenting styles on new episodes of their show. Now, Kris Jenner has even gotten involved, and she's on Khloe's side, calling Kim a hypocrite. Now, in the episode, Kim explained that her daughter North was in China with her father, and said North is in China with her dad and she's performing with him, but you know she's still my baby, so she calls me for everything. The scene then cuts to Kim on a video call with North. Now, while Khloe doesn't interrupt Kim checking in with her daughter, she says in a confessional, "You're the one, not even a year ago, is fighting for me for saying goodnight to my child, and you're on the phone with North for a couple hours." Clips are then played where Kim can be seen aggressively schooling Khloe on maintaining a healthy distance from her children every now and then. "Get away from your kids, live your effing life," Kim says. But now, in the present time, Kris speaks up and says, "We've spent more than half the trip on the phone with your children. You gave her so much for checking in with her kids," says Kris. Khloe then immediately adds, "For 3 minutes, like I made sure they were short because I didn't want to be rude," she said, talking about the FaceTimes. But Kim, being Kim, says it as she sees it, and said, "Honestly, you'd freak out. She's in China. You wouldn't even let your kids go to another country without you." Now, there's no problem for Kim checking in on her children, but she shouldn't have complained about Khloe doing the same thing. Fans are currently accusing Khloe of getting a nose job. Now, Khloe recently posted a carousel of pictures with her son Tatum Thompson, and the two pictures showed a smiling Khloe holding her son as the two looked into the camera. But fans immediately started pointing out how different her nose looks. Someone created a Reddit thread claiming that Khloe has a new face and posted one of the pictures from the Instagram post. Another user quickly commented under the thread and wrote, "There's something going on with that nose," while another believes that Khloe facetuned the photo. Now, in the past, Khloe has openly admitted to undergoing a rhinoplasty in 2019, and she discussed the procedure and other things she's had done in interviews and on her reality show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So, due to this, some fans think she went under the knife again. And what do you think? I mean, her appearance changes all the time, and I honestly wouldn't be that shocked. Kim and Kanye West have had quite a public fallout over their daughter North West this year, and Kanye's actions have resulted in Kim apparently asking for sole custody of her children. You see, this year Kanye has been acting crazy. He pulled an insane stunt on the Grammys red carpet with his wife Bianca Censori, he's been hanging out with some terrible people, and he's been going on rant after rant on Twitter, writing the most disgusting and problematic things ever. Not to mention, Kanye ignored his agreement with Kim and added North to a song with Diddy. Yeah, after Kim told him no. Now, TMZ reports that their custody agreement included having an equal say in decisions regarding their children, and Kim was opposed to their daughter being a part of the song, but Kanye went ahead with letting her record it and even teased the track. In leaked texts from Kanye, "I asked you at the time if I could trademark her name, you said yes. When she's 18, it goes to her, so stop. I sent the paperwork over so she wouldn't be in the Diddy song to protect her." Kanye then replied, "And neither of us will recover from the public fallout. You are going to have to kill me." Now, the former couple attended mediation required in time of conflict per their divorce settlement, and Kanye agreed to not officially put out the track unless North was removed. However, the version featuring her was already circulating on the internet by that point, so the damage was done. He later worsened the situation for himself by tweeting, "The man makes the final decision." Yeah, I don't blame Kim for wanting sole custody at all. There has been a long-standing rumor that Justin Bieber is the father of Kourtney Kardashian's son Reign and not Scott Disick like we all thought. Now, it's true that at one point Kourtney and Justin hooked up and had some kind of weird relationship, but now Reign himself has denied these allegations. He joined his stepsister Alabama Barker's boyfriend on an Instagram Live and addressed the wild, long-standing rumors that his real father is Justin Bieber. Reign shocked fans when he responded to a viewer who asked if Justin was his dad. "No, he's not, bro, I swear. Justin Bieber is not my dad. Scotty is my dad," he declared. declared. "I don't know how old my mom was, but I think Justin Bieber was 16 when I got born. I don't think my mom would do that," he said. Now, sources are saying that Kourtney is furious about this though. An insider said Kourtney has never talked to Reign about the rumors, and she would imagine this was the first time he had ever heard them. Kourtney was livid. She told him that there are so many silly rumors about the family and that he's not to believe anything. She tries to keep her kids away from this stuff, but as they get older, she's unable to as easily. Now, another rumor surfaced earlier this year that Mason Disick, Kourtney's oldest son, secretly fathered a baby. Yeah, last year Mason created his first ever Instagram account, but that came with other people impersonating him. And as a result of this, unfounded claims began spreading across social media, with some accounts even sharing photos of a baby girl, falsely alleging that Mason had secretly welcomed a daughter named Piper last year. Now, the Kardashians caught wind of this though, and Kourtney put an end to it. "I rarely address rumors or conspiracies regarding myself or my family, but this is about my child, and it feels wrong to let anyone think for a second that these lies are remotely true. They are not," she wrote on Instagram. Mason does not have a child. These accounts that pretend to be him are definitely not. They are fake, she continued. "My son really values his privacy, and I'm asking all media to please be respectful. He is a kid with feelings and a beautiful life ahead of him. Please stop spreading false narratives and spinning lies. And to all the people making videos about my kids, who by the way are minors, please stop and leave them alone," she said.
Did Beyonce fake her pregnancy? When Beyonce was pregnant with daughter Blue Ivy Carter, so many rumors began spreading that she faked her pregnancy with a fake belly and had enlisted a surrogate to carry the child. A particular video, however, went insanely viral, like literally overnight. A video of Beyonce's high-definition interview with Australia's Sunday Night HD surfaced online. This interview would have been, on record as the most boring interview of all time had it not been for the one moment at the start of the sit down when Beyonce took a seat and her bump, did something entirely different and kind of unnatural. So to explain, when she sits down, you can see her stomach deflating and folding in on itself. The stills and slow-mos of the disappearing bump were circulated online as people questioned, what was happening? Now, was Beyonce wearing, different sized bellies to throw off the press as to how far along she was? Had she and Jay-Z, gone the surrogate route and her, deflating baby bump proved it? Or was it something else entirely that can or can't be so easily explained? Beyonce's publicist, Yvette Noel Schur, was quick with it. She shot down the conspiracy theories almost immediately, telling E! News that, websites, blogs, and rumors suggesting that Jay-Z's wife is wearing a prosthetic or otherwise faking her baby bump are simply foolish and outlandish. Beyonce addressed it literally only once, saying that was crazy. It wasn't even hurtful, it was just crazy. Where do they come up with this stuff? Meanwhile, her mother, Tina Knowles, took the talk very personally. She went on to say, "I thought it was very unfair and very cruel that someone would think that someone would be that diabolical to keep up a charade like that for 9 months. As a mother, it was painful for me to hear the crazy rumors, and I even had people ask me, which was so ridiculous. The only thing they could say about why it looked like her belly folded is that it must have been the fabric." One critic online pointed out that Beyonce has been so secretive about her pregnancy and that the only footage of her actually being pregnant was super grainy and not clear at all. Some fans, came to her defense saying that there was a pic of her on the beach, in a bikini, but honestly the photo of her in the bikini, if she was pregnant, looked like she would have been about 4 months or less. So basically people were saying, the photo doesn't actually prove that she was actually pregnant. There were just so many conspiracy theories regarding why she might be lying. Many people thought she didn't want to ruin her figure, by being pregnant. Some people suspected maybe she couldn't have children of her own, and some thought, her and Jay were maybe adopting. However, none of this truly mattered when her daughter was actually brought into the world. Blue Ivy was born at Lenox Hill Hospital in Manhattan, New York on January 7th, 2012. Her and Jay actually reportedly bought out the whole floor at the hospital in order to have privacy, even making people who, were already there leave. But that's another story for another time. All in all, this whole circus made Beyonce a lot more open with her second pregnancy when she had twins Rumi and Sir. Personally, I think she didn't want the same, accusations and theories to surface again, so she kind of just said, y'all ain't playing with me today. You want a bump? Here it is. Is Beyonce lying about her age? There have been several moments that have made people question whether or not Beyonce is lying about her age. Matthew Knowles, her father, continues to use his daughter's name as a means, to staying newsworthy. This time though, it's adding fuel to the fire, or to the rumor mill, that the superstar is actually lying about her age. In an interview with Power 105.1's The Breakfast Club, Knowles, her father, says that Pink, the singer, is the exact same age as Beyonce. Pink, however, is 45, and Beyonce is, according to her, 43. Beyonce's age has been, a source of speculation for years, complete with alleged birth certificate leaks and, celebrity sources. Gabrielle Union, who is 9 years older than Beyonce, has said they were friends when they were teenagers, and apparently they even went to high school together, but the math ain't mathing there. While the difference between Pink and Beyonce are only like a measly 2 years, by the time you're like closing down on 50, those years, apparently seem to matter. So, fudging the numbers early on makes it a little easier to simply stop at 43 and refuse to age any further. It's as if, as a performer, you were to reach 50, you'd stop being considered for parts or shows, which, let's be honest, that isn't actually true in today's day and age, because just look at Jennifer Lopez. Like, she's in her 50s, she's still performing, headlining, you know what I mean? Or the other worry I would imagine most women up in age would be concerned about would be whether you'd be vilified for like gallivanting in a leotard or like a bodysuit, like a one piece, whatever scandalous type of outfit you might have worn in your 20s. Basically, for being confident about your body. Taylor Swift does it, it's, girl power, but if Madonna does it, it's like supposed to be shameful, So at least that's how society wants us all to view it. Beyonce has lied many times about writing her own music. Beyonce has claimed to be, the creative vision and songwriter behind some of her most successful songs, and there was no room for argument, that she was one of the most talented singer-songwriters to be a part of the music industry, and still is. But when rumors began to swirl that there were holes in the stories Beyonce told about writing her music, fans were shocked. They wondered if Beyonce truly did write all the songs she claimed to, or if she was fabricating. Now, there have been several times when songwriters or celebrities have had negative things to say and called Beyonce out in the press for taking credit for being the creative force behind her songs that have become hits. This is not to say, that the Run the World singer does not put her own spin vocally on tracks to take them places other artists could not, all while having an insane work ethic, but taking full credit for something that there was clearly a collaboration on led fans to do some digging. And when they did, they found several times when Beyonce claimed to be the sole writer or had the inspiration for a song, when that was clearly false. One person on Reddit actually rounded up like a number of examples, which include Emotions, which is actually a Bee Gees cover, Survivor, which the actual songwriter sued and settled out of court, Bow Down, which was allegedly written for Rihanna, Bootylicious, the demo was apparently near complete when, it got to Destiny's Child, and one of Beyonce's biggest songs, Irreplaceable, which apparently was actually written by Neo. Now, what's funny about that one is that Beyonce went on to say, "I'm sure people think I wrote it about Jay-Z or something, but the obvious person is not the person at all." Several years later, though, Neo claimed to have penned the song himself. Had he not thought the song was too misogynistic, he explained he would have actually kept it for himself. He said, "That song taught me a very interesting lesson. Many women don't think that differently. However, a man singing it comes across a little mean." So, with many discrepancies coming up in interviews over the years when Beyonce has claimed to be the driving force behind many of her hits, it is easy to see why fans wonder how much Beyonce has written herself, what she has collaborated on, and what songs were just written for her. There's no denying the talent Beyonce has, and no one is discrediting, her vocal and performance abilities, but many fans and critics alike think that she should give all the credit, not just to herself. In fact, it's just a song that maybe she's collabed on with one person, online even saying, unless Beyonce specifically came up with an idea for a song or contributed vocals to it, she should call herself an artist instead. Another person chimed in and said, "For some reason, we have this idea that singers have to also write their own music to be considered artists, but telling a story with your voice and entertaining people with your performance is a whole other skill set. I think at the end of the day, just give credit where it's due to avoid these type of, controversies, or stay as low-key as possible and don't extend your part." Jay-Z and Diddy were once referred to as hip-hop royalty. To this day, and despite all the controversies, many still give them that title. The rappers both rose to fame in the 90s and have maintained a very close friendship over the years. After both beating jail time in 1999 for their involvement in separate crimes, the duo are now facing more legal allegations. In 2024, a woman accused the rap legends of essaying her at a house party in 2000 when she was just a young woman. Now, both Combs and Jay have have denied the allegations, but was the 1999 incident just a big red flag for worse to come? In December of 1999, Jay was arrested and charged with attacking Lance Riviera during a heated argument in a Manhattan nightclub. Lance is a record producer and music executive who began his musical career when he met neighborhood rapper Christopher Wallace, better known as Biggie Smalls. After hearing Biggie perform, Rivera offered to finance his musical career, and that opened the door to more connections in the industry. Jay-Z turned himself into the police for the incident and was placed under arrest before being released on $50,000 bail. Jay initially pleaded not guilty, but later copped out to third-degree battery in exchange for 3 years probation. In his 2010 book, Decoded, Jay spoke about the incident, admitting that he angrily approached Rivera but wasn't responsible for the attack. Now, fast forward to May 2023, Rivera said Jay was not the one who attacked him, telling DJ Vlad, "I don't know where people got Jay-Z attacked me from, because if anybody knows Jay-Z, Jay-Z's a nice guy." He went on to say, "I ended up getting surrounded by a bunch of people. It was probably like 10 weapons that I knew of, and I ended up getting hurt." Rivera confirmed that Jay-Z was there and that they had had a conversation right before he got hit in the head with a champagne bottle. Now, many fans have speculated whether Jay was really responsible or if Rivera lied back then or is maybe lying now. Now, one friend at the party, Chris Scotti, he said that he thought Jay punched Rivera and was actually shocked to see it. However, many people think that Rivera is getting paid now to say Jay actually never did it, and that saying things like Jay is a really nice guy is a way to help Jay's image right now, since it's been quite damaged recently. So some people have even speculated that Jay's paid Rivera to say these things now. Rivera has said for the record that everyone who was there has a different story on what actually happened, but only me and Jay know what really went on. To me, that kind of leaves things unanswered. Like, I hear what you're saying, but I don't feel you though. Something is off, right? Now, fast forwarding back again to October 2024, going as Jane Doe, the woman previously mentioned, filed a lawsuit accusing Combs and an unnamed male celebrity of essaying her at a party. Now, 2 months later, the plaintiff amended the suit to include Jay-Z's name as the male celebrity who also essayed her. According to the revised lawsuit, the woman alleged that she began to feel lightheaded after consuming a drink at the party and went to lie down in a bedroom. Shortly after, the plaintiff claimed both Diddy and Jay entered the room and allegedly began to remove her clothing and held her down, while Combs allegedly essayed her as an unidentified female celebrity watched. Now, Jay aggressively denied the allegations he described as heinous, and on December 8th, 2024, writing a statement that the victim's attorney, Tony Busby, was trying to blackmail him with the lawsuit. This lawsuit has definitely brought up Jay's past lawsuit, and many people online have said we should have taken the first one as a red flag for more to come. Did you know Beyonce fired her father as her manager? Well, if you didn't, now you do. Beyonce is a diva, no doubt, and a lot of choices she's made has been questionable to say the least, but some have raised some alarm bells because many critics have looked at them as red flags, this one being no exception. Beyonce fired her father, Matthew Knowles, as her manager back in 2011. Now, Beyonce's father has overseen her career since she first auditioned for gigs as a kid and a teenager. Now, while the singles mother Tina was her stylist, Matthew managed his daughter's whole solo career in years, and as a member of her R&B group Destiny's Child, he even actually started the original girls group, which he named Girls Time, when she was just 8 years old. Now, Beyonce explained her decision at the time, saying that she was only ending their business relationship and that she still loved and was grateful to him. She said, "I grew up watching both he and my mother manage and own their own businesses. They were hardworking entrepreneurs, and I will continue to follow in their footsteps." Her father was accused, though, of stealing money from Beyonce by Live Nation, which was revealed in court documents in 2011. Now, these allegations prompted her legal team to conduct an audit in October of 2010, which apparently concluded Knowles had taken funds. Knowles denied the allegations and has requested a judge to ask Live Nation the rationale for its claim. The 60-year-old has suggested that promoter was trying to win a larger share of Beyonce's tour revenue. Knowles said he was replaced with a former Live Nation executive. Live Nation have reportedly reportedly declined to comment on the issue, and he denied the accusations, and he actually took his daughter's former concert promoter to court, claiming Live Nation soured his relationship with Beyonce by making false statements about him. Matthew insisted this was just a business decision and unrelated to the family drama. He went on to say, "We mutually agreed to part ways in terms of me managing Beyonce, as my focus is in the investment of Music World's Entertainment's growing gospel and inspirational music division. Because of the success of these artists, my focus has to be on gospel now." Beyonce's relationship with her father is also explored in her 2016 album Lemonade. In the section titled Accountability, Beyonce questions potential power struggles she may have had with her father. She also has a song called Daddy Lessons on the album, in which she sings about being taught how to be hardworking or a hardworking young woman. Now, this whole incident caused many fans at the time to question the whole thing and wondered if this was a bad sign of Beyonce being too controlling, and it was labeled as a red flag, with one person saying, "Firing your father who has helped you skyrocket to stardom over accusations of theft is the biggest red flag I've ever seen in a long time. What would he need to steal for?" With another person saying, "Beyonce is an adult now and has had her father's opinions, and she has her own opinions now and the way she wants to do things. Her dad has always been controlling. This was a smart decision." Now, their relationship has been complicated, and he hasn't always been, perfect dad, father of the year, so many people have interpreted this in many different ways. But what are your guys' thoughts though? Beyonce's Ivy Park fashion line allegedly is produced in a sweatshop. This is a huge red flag because, well, unless you're unaware of how sweatshops operate, they are deeply inhumane and their practices are disgusting. Beyonce's much-hyped surprise collaboration with British clothing giant Topshop made headlines around the world when it launched. Topshop's website crashed as people rushed to purchase premium athleisure, with prices starting at $14 for sweatbands and going all the way up to $265 for a full-length color block bodysuit. Now, the clothing line was supposed to be a way to push a feel-good woman empowerment ethos and to de-emphasize perfectionism and to value strength over beauty, but the backlash was inevitable. A British tabloid newspaper named The Sun ran an expose describing the Sri Lankan garment workers making the range as sweatshop slaves, earning just 64 cents an hour. Now, reporters visited the site, and one sewing machine operator said that she was unable to survive on her basic wage of 18,500 rupees a month, which is about $126. The newspaper claimed average seamstresses earn about $7 a day and acknowledged that workers at the factory were still being paid above the legal minimum wage of 13,500 rupees a month. But what is being described by The Sun is that it looks like a severe case of exploitation bordering on slavery. The reporter highlighted particular concerns, including low pay and limits on the women's movements at night by locking them into their accommodation. Like, the workers reside on site and are subject to curfews, which is odd. A spokesperson for Ivy Park said, "Ivy Park has a rigorous ethical trading program. We are proud of our sustained efforts in terms of factory inspections and audits, and our teams worldwide work very closely with our suppliers and their factories to ensure compliance. We expect our suppliers to meet our code of conduct, and we support them in achieving these requirements." Beyonce hasn't directly spoken out, of course, about all of this, and it's caused a lot of concern from her fans. We are in 2024, girl. Time to start paying people better, am I right? A big red flag that has been brought up many times from Jay-Z and Beyonce's past is their big age gap. When we think of Hollywood power couples, we think of Jay-Z and Beyonce. In fact, the two have been together for so long at this point, it's like hard to remember a time they weren't. This leads to the question though of how long the two have actually been together and when exactly they started dating. Now, the current age difference between the two now would actually not raise any red flags because she's 43 and he's 55, but the red flag was drawn years ago when the two met when Beyonce was just 18, which was probably somewhere between 1999 and 2000. Now, Jay-Z was 30 at the time, but Beyonce has spoken before about how the two stayed friends for a while before things turned romantic. She said in an interview with Oprah, "We were friends first for a year and a half before we went on any dates, and though the two would go on to marry, they actually waited until 2008. Not just because of their 12-year age difference, but because according to Beyonce, she told 17 magazine at the time, "I really don't believe that you will love the same thing at 20 as you do 30. So that was my rule. Before the age of 25, I would never get married. I feel like you have to get to know yourself, yourself, know what you want, spend some time by yourself, and be proud of who you are before you can share that with someone else. The power couple quickly began working together professionally, starting with Jay-Z's 2002 track Bonnie and Clyde, followed by Beyonce's smash hit Crazy in Love. As suggested by the song title, it was inspired by Beyonce's deep affection for Jay-Z. Their personal lives often influenced their music, becoming a reoccurring theme throughout their relationship. Now, however, they managed to keep their 2008 wedding ceremony completely private. Many fans have said they feel bad that Beyonce wasn't given a chance to date around and explore her options because she likely felt pressured into being with Jay, and because that's all she knows, that's why she stayed. Fans today have said that back in the day, age gaps were not talked about enough because they were so normalized, like not only in Hollywood but also just in society. And the reality, which might shock a lot of y'all, is that the age gap between Beyonce and Jay-Z is the same age gap between Mr. Kelly and Aaliyah. But no one wants to talk about that, and we won't get into how Jay-Z was initially going after Aaliyah. That's a story for another time. Now, the inconsistencies around the actual numbers have always been a hot topic though, because in 2007, in an interview with Charlie Rose, Jay-Z said he met Beyonce 10 years ago, which would have meant 1997. But Beyonce said she was 18 when they first met and 19 when they first started dating. Beyonce was born September 4th, 1981, so this would actually put their first encounter in late 1999 or early 2000s. Now, many fans have come out and said that Jay and Bey are definitely lying, and she was definitely underage when he was first pursuing her, and they've been doing nothing but lying about it for years to protect their images. Many fans have said she was groomed, and in a popular video that's been watched millions of times, you see Beyonce standing next to Jay saying, "You taught me how to be a woman, you taught me how to be a leader, you taught me how to be a friend, you've given me so much in life." Many people said that he should not have taught you how to be a woman, and that video was like giving predatory vibes.
If you are wondering what Jay-Z is even on public trial for right now, we will get into the details shortly, but basically he's being accused of unconsensually engaging with a young girl. As you might know, Rihanna was 2 years shy of 18 when she met Jay-Z and signed a record deal with him, but she wasn't the young girl in question. However, she did make an odd comment in a 2005 interview with Tyra Banks that has people more freaked out than anything. Rihanna was telling the story of her record deal meeting. She recalled how intense it was, sharing that after presenting herself as an artist, Jay-Z apparently told her the conditions for her to exit the room. According to Rihanna, he said, "There are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal signed, or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor." At the time, everybody laughed at this comment because at that point, Jay-Z was a widely loved rapper. Why would anyone believe there was anything negative happening behind closed doors? He was just a talented guy ready and eager to sign the next big thing. However, times have changed, and with all the recent allegations, the once innocent comment sounds so much worse. Pair with it that the meeting to sign the deal allegedly lasted almost 12 hours. The approximate end time said to be about 3 a.m. Yeah, the internet is kicking up a storm. People are wondering why so much time was needed, what they could have done during that time. Did Jay-Z force Rihanna into anything? Was she alone? Thankfully, this story has been told by both parties many times over, and it's been established that Rihanna wouldn't have been left alone with Jay-Z. Guardians and lawyers were present. Now, the comment from the rapper hinting that he would throw her out a window should she not agree to sign, that might be a bit extreme, but it seems Rihanna wanted to sign the deal as much as Jay-Z did, which is good. As for the length of the meeting, according to some comments Jay-Z made in a 2005 interview with Sway Calloway, it sounded like they literally did everything in that time, which is why it took so long. The legal teams had to draft up a contract that both parties agreed to, which for 12 hours is honestly not that bad. In the same interview, he also made it very clear that him and his record company were pretty desperate to sign Rihanna, apparently reluctant to let her leave the building, probably so she wouldn't be off to get a better deal somewhere or back out. I mean, hopefully we've all heard Rihanna's music. I understand why they would want the star so bad. She is very talented. One Reddit user who claims to work in the entertainment industry shared their perspective on the length of the meeting, saying that it's easy for a meeting to get so long, writing that meetings turn into lunches, which turn into drinks, which turn into exchanging ideas, which turns into inviting more people to drink and develop ideas. You gotta hang because you miss the life-changing opportunities when you're not socializing. They clarified that they aren't trying to say that nothing happened, just that a 12-hour meeting is not that uncommon. But why are people so worked up about Jay-Z right now? Why is this random Rihanna interview being picked apart? Well, as mentioned briefly at the start of this video, Jay-Z has been recently accused of some pretty terrible things alongside Sean Diddy Combs. A lawsuit against Diddy was originally filed back in October. However, at the time of filing, only Diddy was named. The other celebrities in the suit were simply referred to as Celebrity A and B. The woman that filed the suit has remained anonymous, so she is known as Jane Doe during the proceedings. Jane Doe's lawsuit alleged that Diddy and an unnamed additional male celebrity, now revealed to be Jay-Z, harmed Jane Doe inappropriately while another, still unnamed female celebrity watched. The plaintiff shared the events leading up to the moment. It was the night of the MTV VMAs in 2000. The girl had been trying to sneak into Radio City Music Hall but wasn't able to get in. After failing, she met Diddy's driver, who told her to come back after the show. When she did, he drove her to a large white house, in which upon entering, the plaintiff claims that she was presented with a non-disclosure agreement to sign. She claims that once inside, there was widespread use of substances, and when handed a beverage, they were also in there. Attempting to find somewhere safe to lay down, the plaintiff claims she entered an empty bedroom. Unfortunately, it wasn't long after she attempted to rest that she claimed the trio of celebrities entered the room too. It was then that the multiple transgressions occurred. Allegedly, the two men took turns where the female celebrity looked on. The events stopped when the plaintiff struck Diddy in the neck, and she was able to escape the house and return home. But the emotional damage was done. Diddy, and now Jay-Z, continue to say they are innocent. This case is still ongoing, so there's no official verdict right now as to whether or not the details of the suit are true. However, there might be evidence that Jay-Z was in fact at this party. Apparently, the Daily Mail obtained pictures from this night that included Jay-Z at the party. People are left to wonder though, who was the female celebrity? Sure, she might not have physically harmed the plaintiff, however, she also allegedly just looked on while the horrible incident was happening, which is also a terrible thing to do. There are millions of theories online, but no concrete idea, just speculation. But it leaves people wondering why the female celebrity's name hasn't been released yet, and why Jay-Z's name came so far after Diddy's. In some recent statements, Jay-Z has given us some clues. He claims that before his name was revealed, his lawyer received a letter about the suit, described as a pre-litigation demand letter. What Jay-Z referred to as an intent to blackmail him, the contents allegedly requested financial compensation. However, Jane Doe's legal representation, Tony Busby, was quick to deny that claim. Busby says that Jane Doe requested mediation and never sought financial gain. Busby responded to Jay-Z's claims in an amended complaint. He essentially accused Jay-Z of trying to bully or intimidate the plaintiff, those close to her, and working with her into silence. From this, we can draw a conclusion that maybe Jay-Z's name was initially kept in the dark because they were trying to work things out in private, but everything went south, and that is why we're hearing about it now. In the event that the same steps were taken with Celebrity B, the female celebrity, as were with Jay-Z, there's a chance everything was settled behind closed doors, and we will never know. It's unclear if Jane Doe's legal team also would have done this with Diddy's lawyers in advance too, or if they would have just filed the suit, considering there were already so many open against Diddy. Jay-Z is adamantly denying any wrongdoing and is making his own shocking request that Jane Doe reveals herself. The rapper wants to know who's accusing him, claiming that the accuser should not be allowed to tarnish his name while hiding her identity. His attorney called the situation a shakedown and said that if Jane Doe isn't revealed, it would deny Mr. Carter the fundamental right to confront his accuser while simultaneously enabling plaintiff and her counsel to conduct a trial by media. In a filing from early last week, Jay-Z and his team called for a judge to order that Jane Doe reveal herself or the lawsuit gets dropped. However, Jane Doe and many of the other people that have filed anonymous suits against Diddy probably have a good reason to keep their name from the public. Tony Busby spoke on behalf of Jane Doe and the over 200 clients with claims against Diddy that his firm is representing, explaining why it's so important for the secrecy on their side. He claimed that about 80% of those he's representing have told the firm that Diddy had warned them to keep quiet or something bad would happen to them and or their loved ones. Who knows if he meant it, but better safe than sorry. Keeping your name out of the headlines also ensures that you don't get hounded by the press day in and day out. Busby spoke to a federal judge last Sunday where he stressed how important it was that his clients remain anonymous for protection's sake. Jay-Z released a statement from the Roc Nation social media accounts in which he accused Busby of exploiting people for personal gain. Busby shared that he expected Jay-Z to attempt to unmask Jane Doe and would be filing a response when the time was right, which will probably be soon. In addition to that, he shared shared that he was sued in November by an unnamed celebrity under the name John Doe, but Busby believes it was Jay-Z. Technically, if you look at the timeline, there is potential that Jay-Z was the John Doe. Since the first filing with Diddy's name happened in October, the timeline would line up for Busby to have enough time to contact Jay-Z's lawyer and then for them to sue in response. Of course, this is all alleged, as Busby doesn't even know who it really was, so I certainly won't pretend to know either. Busby did connect this case to the current one though, saying he sued me under a pseudonym but files a motion to reveal the victim. Despite the high-profile nature of this case, Jay-Z is still out making appearances. He was spotted on Disney's Mufasa red carpet. The live-action prequel to The Lion King stars Beyonce and their daughter Blue Ivy, so that is why he was there, to support his family. It's his daughter's big day. However, considering the circumstances, many people have shared online that they think he should have maybe sat this one out. One ex-user said that the rapper had a lot of nerve showing up like that, and another agreed with the response, saying he had no shame.
Absolutely no more going out with his boys, again to the club, bar, or anywhere deemed risky. A source close to the pair said he used to go out with the boys all the time, but that's completely off limits now. Despite being, the power couple of Hollywood, even Jay-Z and Beyoncé have faced certain ups and downs in their marriage and even became a subject of scandal after the rapper's infidelity. Well, that's what's changed their relationship and lives forever, with the pop star handing out a set of rules to Sean Carter. Now, according to sources, after Jay-Z openly admitted to cheating on Beyoncé, the singer surprisingly managed to forgive him and work on their marriage. But that took a lot of effort on the rapper's end, for, he was apparently handed out a set of rules to follow. Back in 2014, after Beyoncé's sister Solange Knowles ferociously attacked Jay-Z in an elevator, rumors began circulating about the rapper's infidelity. Thereafter, thanks to the pop star's 2016 album Lemonade, where she referred to someone as Becky with the good hair, which solidified people's assumptions. Finally, in 2017, Jay-Z confirmed his infidelity through the title track of 444 and later opened up publicly about his situation with Beyoncé. Thereafter, although the couple sparked rumors of divorce, they worked on their marriage instead of giving up. And according to multiple reports, there's many things that require the rapper to follow an alleged set of rules and live by.
Kylie Jenner is no stranger to the luxuries of life, like private planes. Stars do sometimes need access to private flights for security reasons, but social media was up in arms in July of 2022 after the reality TV star took a 17-minute flight. The star took her private jet a couple cities over, and people online calculated that the flight could have been a 45-minute car ride. I personally don't get the short private jet flights, just because after driving to the airport, getting on the flight, taking off, touching down, getting off, driving from the airport, wouldn't that all exceed 45 minutes? You can tell I've never been on a private plane. Other social media users were quick to point out just how much carbon would have been released from the short flight, about a quarter of the average person's annual carbon footprint, or 1 ton. The 45-minute car ride would have had a significantly lower impact on the environment. This isn't even the worst flight Jenner has reportedly taken. In June, she had taken a flight that was just 9 minutes. Social media users have called out the star for this behavior, some calling her a climate criminal. July of 2020 revealed that the makeup millionaire Kylie Jenner is accused of being a bad tipper. A video shared to TikTok by a former Manhattan restaurant hostess details her opinions on different A-listers she met while working at the restaurant. The video features names like Hailey Bieber and the Hadid sisters, both talked about in positive light. Jenner, unfortunately, did not receive the same treatment. The hostess clarified that the reality TV star's behavior wasn't an issue, saying that she was fine. It was the bill at the end. The former hostess claimed that Jenner tipped $20 on a $500 bill. The former hostess ended her bit about Jenner saying, "Do with that what you will," and rated the star as a 2 out of 10 guest. This did cause some controversy online, some people agreeing that Kylie should have tipped more, around 20% instead of 4%. That would have been about a $100 tip. Others are saying that maybe the service wasn't great and $20 isn't that bad. Let me know your thoughts on the situation in the comments. Timothée Chalamet's fan base had a meltdown after videos of him smoking at the Beyonce concert he attended with Kylie went viral viral. The elusive Hollywood couple makes few public appearances together, so all eyes were on them at Beyonce's September 4th concert last year. Most of what was seen was just kisses and cuddles, but one particular Timothy action had fans clutching their pearls, but for good reason though. Timothy is seen in a video from the event smoking. This does break the rules of the venue, and fans were not happy about that. Timothée Chalamet smoking is not necessarily the biggest surprise. There are photos of him doing it before, lots of people in Hollywood do it, but smoking inside the stadium is definitely not very nice to those around him. This next point is like whiplash. Kylie is known for being active on social media, posting on her Instagram story frequently. For such a major star, usually posts are like planned to complement each other, but in this case, the two could not have been more different. Back in the very beginning of 2020, Jenner took to her Instagram story to raise awareness for what was happening in Australia at the time with all the devastating fires. Particularly, Jenner's Instagram story post was about the large amount of animals that had passed due to the fires and how sad that was and how people could help. It was a great message, exactly the thing to do to raise awareness. However, shortly after posting this message, Jenner posted photos of her new slippers to her story. Her new mink fur slippers, real fur. Fans thought this was an incredibly inappropriate thing to post, wearing fur right after making a big post about saving the animals in Australia. Many social media users were quick to weigh in on the controversy, one writing, "Kylie posting a story about the AU fires, then a story of her mink LV slippers is my favorite new definition of tone deaf. The slipper slip up wasn't a good look." Maybe the most hilarious of the secrets on this list would have to be the Timothée Chalamet spreading chlamydia around the NYU campus. It's not true, apparently. The reason this rumor even started is just as wild as the rumor itself. Allegedly, according to fans online, the rumor started from a fanfiction. This happened in a fanfiction, I guess, and everyone just started taking it as fact. Not to say that there is no truth to the rumor. I personally don't know him, so I can't tell you exactly what he got up to in college. Kylie's lip kits and her plastic surgery caused some ruffled feathers when it was first revealed the star received the procedures. Kylie getting exposed for receiving plastic surgery isn't necessarily that bad. She is absolutely allowed to do whatever she wants to her body, it is hers. What people had a problem with is that she was using it to sell her lip kit products. Most of the marketing for her famous lip kits was about how it would make your lips look bigger, just like Kylie's, that all you needed for the plump lip look was a Kylie Jenner lip kit. Only that wasn't true at all, even for Kylie. Her famous pout was achieved not just through makeup, but also plastic surgery. Many said this marketing was creating unrealistic expectations and was contributing to body image issues among younger fans. Now Kylie is more open about the procedures she received. Kylie Jenner admitted in an interview that she uses her housekeeper as an arm model for her makeup swatches. While being interviewed by Fast Money, Kylie dropped this interesting confession. She revealed that the reason why she picked her housekeeper to show off the highlighter swatches was because she has the best arms for swatches and she's so nice and just sits there and has her arm ready and lets me do my thing. So it seems like her housekeeper enjoys being there, which thank goodness. Still, people found the entire thing a little odd and were quick to criticize the situation, especially how Kylie spoke of her housekeeper. Many said that the way Kylie was speaking about her housekeeper was akin to how one might speak of a pet, and were also pointing out that this wasn't a housekeeper's job and that they hoped Jenner at least compensated her for the modeling. Though Jenner being able to do this does indicate a good relationship, so surely her housekeeper must be fine with it. It's been happening for years, but in 2024 it was revealed again that one of Kylie's brands stole designs from a smaller business. In the post, Kylie's makeup brand had stolen photo shoot ideas from a makeup artist on Instagram, but this time it's all about Kylie's clothing line, Kai. Australian brand Johansson is known for a specific silhouette. It looks classic and it has like twisted sleeves usually, and they've actually dressed Kylie Jenner before. The owner of Johansson was surprised when Kai's new collection dropped because it looked incredibly similar to many of the company's designs. Jessica Johansson took to TikTok to express her frustration and show comparisons of the two brands side by side. From what I saw, they are almost identical. Pair that with the fact that Kylie knows the brand and has worn the clothes, it's not looking good. This isn't the first time Kai has been accused of stealing designs. Before this, in 2023, designer Betsy Johnson accused the brand of the same thing. This is not the Betsy Johnson, the American designer, this is someone else. She was a model and is from Grimsby. Johnson at this point had recently announced a line called Products and was met with praise. It featured lots of leather and made a point to look luxurious. Kylie's brand released a line that had striking similar design ideas. Turns out Johnson had sent some emails to Kylie's product team months before the drops. In an Instagram story, Johnson wrote, "We emailed Kylie and her team Products Ltd concept and language and a line sheet 6 months ago. Interesting concept, Kylie. interesting. Thanks for the cosign. A line sheet is a tool used to showcase clothing and the info about selling it wholesale, so it probably would have had a lot of the product's designs on it. Not a good look. The summer of 2020 was the backdrop for the shocking accusation that Kendall and Kylie didn't pay their workers. Claims were made against the sisters' shared brand, Kendall and Kylie, that they weren't compensating workers in Bangladesh for their work. The alleged reason why was the COVID-19 pandemic. An article from Remake was published in June of 2020, and it was the first to bring this claim to light. Here's the thing, were Kendall and Kylie directly responsible for paying the workers? Technically no. Everything went through the company they were working with, Global Brands Group. So the claim was actually against them. The claim was that they refused to pay its garment suppliers for orders produced in February and March following a drop in sales caused by the coronavirus pandemic. The sisters did address the claims publicly in a statement on Instagram, writing, "We would like to address the unfortunate and incorrect rumor that Global Brands Group owns the Kendall and Kylie brand and that we have neglected to pay factory workers in Bangladesh as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is untrue. The Kendall and Kylie brand is owned by 3072541 Canada Inc., not GBG. The brand has worked with CAA GBG in the past in a sales and business development capacity only, but we do not currently have any relationship at all with GBG. So though they had been affiliated in the past, it was not the case anymore, and it was an unfortunate accident that the sisters were brought into the conversation. Kylie Jenner made history and truly became King Kylie when she was crowned Forbes' youngest self-made billionaire ever at age 21. It came out towards the end of 2020 that allegedly false tax returns had been used to prove Kylie's billionaire status. So she wasn't actually a billionaire, still very, very, very rich, just not a billionaire. She was close to almost there. Her updated net worth at the time when Forbes revoked the title was just under $900 million. A report was published in the magazine after they had realized that they had been lied to. The report accused Kylie's mom, Kris Jenner, of being a key player in the falsehood. In the report, Forbes said, "Kylie's business is significantly smaller and less profitable than the family has spent years leading the cosmetics industry and media outlets, including Forbes, to believe." The magazine did go on to clarify some things, saying, "While we can't prove that those documents were fake, though it's likely, it's clear that Kylie's camp has been lying." Today, Kylie Jenner's net worth is estimated to be about $700 million. The only member of the family with a billion net worth right now is Kim Kardashian with a net worth of around $1.7 billion.
Kim Kardashian recently shared how she makes sure her kids aren't finishing all their Halloween candy. In an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live ahead of her American Horror Story Delicate Part 2 finale, the 43-year-old reality star and entrepreneur shared with Kimmel what it was like growing up next to Madonna in her childhood and adult years, and what it's like trick-or-treating with the Material Girl singer. Kimmel's like, "I would imagine this is like a celebrity neighborhood, but like, you got good candy, right?" Kim was like, "Yes," and then Kimmel was like, "Madonna allowed her kids to eat candy? She seems very healthy." And Kim was like, "Yeah, absolutely, she's very healthy. But I mean, I take it and then I throw it away, or I donate it." Kimmel was like, "Okay, so if you take away your kid's candy, next time videotape it. I'd like to have it. Kind of a hobby of mine," which obviously he was referring to his viral segment where every year, the day after Halloween, parents videotape their kids telling them they ate all their candy, they send him the video, he plays it, and people laugh, or so I'm told. Apparently with fame comes the right to be slobs, at least according to the Kardashian housekeepers, who claim the girls never clean up after themselves, yet expect their rooms and closets to always be camera ready. Well, there's no doubt that the Kardashian women are busy with their multiple shows, their families, numerous business ventures. Some folks have argued that they don't have the right to be so demanding of the housekeepers who help to tend their homes, which I agree. This even led to a lawsuit in 2021, as reported by NBC News, with 7 workers, not 1, not 2, but 7, claiming that Kim Kardashian failed to pay overtime, cover expenses, and provide legally mandated breaks, while expecting her housekeepers to always be on call to pick up after her. Look, if you want luxury services, you've got to pay luxury prices. That's how it is. You've got to pay overtime. You got to pay expenses. You have to provide breaks. Legally mandated for a reason. Shayna Moakler, Travis Barker's ex-wife, went on a podcast and claimed that Kim Kardashian hooked up with him, which is a major bombshell considering Travis is now married to Kim's sister Kourtney. Not only that, but there was allegedly cheating involved. Yeah, Shayna claimed that Travis was seeing Kim behind her back and that Kim played a major part in the breakdown of their marriage. Now, this was during an appearance on the Dumb Blonde podcast, and Shayna revealed that she and Travis were working on their relationship when she was sent text messages between him and Kim from some anonymous source. What did those text messages say? They were trying to meet up at her sister's house to do the deed. Now, apparently when she showed the text to Travis, he had already deleted them. So yeah, she had reason to be suspicious. But what people can't seem to get over about this story is the fact that Travis might have been interested in Kim before he was into Kourtney. And that's something that would promote hurt feelings all around. But like, is Kim Kardashian really a homewrecker? Would she really go after her sister's man and not put it on TV? I don't know. Sounds unlikely to me. I feel like this should have been a storyline of some sort on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. They say that as you get more and more famous, you get more and more lonely and isolated. Like, Kim K used to have a lot of high-profile celebs on her list of friends. We're talking Beyonce, even Taylor Swift for a hot minute. But her former assistant Stephanie revealed that Beyonce and Kim had quite the feud and often badmouthed each other, which hasn't become like super known because they did it privately in their homes. Stephanie also said that Kim has a hard time keeping friends because she thinks she's better than everybody else, and she tries to be better than everybody else too. Let's see, we've got a whole list of people that she's cut off over the years. Jordyn Woods, Blac Chyna, and Drake. It's easy to judge someone who has a big ego, but would any of us act different in Kim's situation? Most of us will ever know, but like, why would you think you're better than your friends? According to a March 2023 Bloomberg Businessweek report, Kim was questioned by the feds as part of this crazy investigation into the big Malaysian financier. I think his name is Zhou Lo, who was a mogul at the center of the big infamous 1MDB fund embezzlement scandal. So US prosecutors alleged that Lo had stolen at least 4.5 billion from One Malaysia Development Berhad, which was founded and led by a former prime minister. The Justice Department indicted Lo in 2018 for conspiring to launder billions of dollars stolen from the development fund and paying out hundreds of millions of dollars in bribes. And since then, he's been like a fugitive. I think he's living in China. In 2019, Kim told the FBI that she once played Baccarat in a Las Vegas casino with Lo and others, and she ended up winning big. Now, he told her, "Keep your chips," which were worth $350,000. And she told the FBI that when she went to the casino counter to cash out, she was handed $250,000 in a trash bag full of $100 bills. So she put the trash bag full of cash in her carry-on bag and boarded a Southwest Airlines flight back to LA. Once again, sketch. On a later trip to Vegas, Kim collected the remaining $100K, again, in a trash bag. Look, I don't know a lot of big gamblers, but this sounds sketchy. Don't you think? Let me know in the comments. The Kardashians are known to take many extravagant vacations and ventures, and one memorable visit to Bora Bora on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, people will know about it. Well, there, Kim reportedly lost her diamond earrings, leading the whole family to search the water for her prized jewelry. Naturally, losing something of such great worth and importance brought plenty of viewers in and sparked a lot of discussion online about the episode. Everybody was worried, where's Kim's earring? Seriously, like, there's people who have never seen a whole episode of the show, but if you quoted them, "Kim, there's people dying," they'd roar laughing. I'm not even a super fan. I quote it all the time. But the problem here, according to RadarOnline.com, Kim's ex-husband, Kris Humphries, said it didn't actually happen. Kim didn't lose her earrings. The move was a publicity stunt to get views. While this surely wasn't the only time Keeping Up with the Kardashians created a false moment, the lost earrings are a prime example of the lack of reality in the reality show. It also shows viewers should reserve judgment and sympathy when something happens on the show, since it might be fabricated for views, which is something we'll talk about more in a moment. We all know reality TV is quasi-scripted by this point in our lives. If you didn't, my bad. But like, when something is this heavily scripted, it's just annoying. When you hear about the Kardashians, you probably automatically assume they're entitled divas, and sadly, you're not wrong. Reports have surfaced that the Kardashians, especially the younger generation, were very kind to the camera crew when Keeping Up with the Kardashians first started in 2007. But as the show progressed, the family got a lot more famous, their kindness and respect for the crews they worked with dwindled, causing unpleasant and unfriendly moments, to say the least, behind the scenes. Ah yes, when fame and money reveal people's true colors. According to The Sun, the Kardashians repeatedly berate crew members and make unreasonable demands on anybody in their path. Additionally, the girls often try to direct what happens or demand multiple reshoots of simple moments on the show to place themselves in the best light they can, at the expense of the rest of the family and crew. Well, after learning how poorly they treat their staff, this probably isn't like a big surprise revelation to anybody, but like it's not a good thing, and probably something the girls want to keep under wraps. One of the most talked about events of Keeping Up with the Kardashians was Kim's extremely short-lived marriage to Kris Humphries. This marriage lasted less than 3 months and commanded headlines for like months if not years following the split. The whole situation was awkward, and Humphries reportedly felt betrayed by Kim, feeling that the marriage was all in the name of ratings. The 72-day wedding will forever live on in infamy. And when you consider there's no such thing as bad publicity, I guess it was a boon for the girls. Why would they waste all that time and money? No. Why would you waste all that time and money if it wasn't gonna work out? Who knows? According to the Washington Post, the marriage was meant for just PR, just to drive awareness and ratings for the show. In fact, Kim wanted her goodbye to Humphries to be on the show, but producers were like, it's a little much. These days, Humphries wants nothing to do with the family and has asked to be completely omitted from Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Sorry dude, wish you all the best away from this circus. This is probably one of the worst kept secrets, but it's worth mentioning. So easily one of the most controversial moments in the Kardashian saga is the release of Kim's intimate tape with Ray J. When the tape was first leaked, Kim sued the company to keep it out of the public eye. But a lot of folks have pointed out that Kim has made an impressive $5 million from the home movie. And it's possible that this leak was a publicity move. In fact, Ray J himself said it was Kim's mom, Kris, who actually released the tape. A lot of people believe the release by Kris was meant to drive attention to the family, and it worked. Only 6 months after the tape was leaked, Keeping Up with the Kardashians premiered with strong viewership. For her part, Kris did do a lie detector test on The Late Late Show with James Corden and said she had nothing to do with the leak. But who's gonna trust a lie detector test on a talk show? Also, who trusts James Corden? As one might expect from a reality TV show these days. Yes, I've already said it, not everything you see is real. And a lot of the events on Keeping Up with the Kardashians were staged, including Kourtney's vicious vocal battles with Scott. It's just bonkers. According to the New York Daily News, once the camera stopped rolling, the duo would laugh about the filmed fights and the drama, and they would discuss how it would drive viewership up. That being said, it's also been revealed that Scott has faced serious addictions, leading some folks to wonder if the fights on the show were real, they were scripted, they were a mixture of both, just playing off of the original fights. The assumptions made were, well, maybe the fights being fake was a cover-up for how serious the issues were in the relationship. Regardless, there's no denying the tension these fights created among fans of the show. The duo ended up splitting for good in 2015, and Kourtney is now married to the famous musician Travis Barker.
At number 10, bribes. At this point, we all know that the Kardashians have a my way or the highway kind of attitude. They will get what they want by any means necessary, and we've seen this a few times over the Kardashians' respective careers, but one of the lesser known times that this sort of attitude came out was when Kris Jenner was trying to save her short-lived talk show. Mama Jenner dreamed of being a talk show host, but those dreams were sort of crushed when her talk show premiered in the summer of 2013. She got a series of reviews, and when she read them, she came across one that she really didn't like. One reviewer named Linda Stassi from the New York Post wrote a column about the show and called Kris a quote, demented Norma Desmond, end quote. Well, because Kris didn't like what Linda had wrote about her, she decided to send the writer a bribe of a dozen Magnolia cupcakes and a $325 sterling silver pen from Tiffany's, along with a note saying to write a better review next time. In the end though, this bribe didn't actually work because her show was cancelled not long after. At number 9, sweatshops. The Kardashians have faced backlash and scandal many times in the past, so really they're nothing new, but one of their more extreme scandals came from when one of their many clothing brands got exposed. In 2011, a Kardashian clothing brand came under fire after it was revealed that the garments were being produced by Chinese workers being paid 8 cents a day. Can you imagine these millionaires paying workers 8 cents? Insane, right? A non-profit organization called China Labor Watch, a group that fights sweatshops, released this information during an investigation into the Kardashian brand. Of course, Mama Jenner came in and stepped in, and she claimed that they didn't know anything about that, going on to say, quote, "The factories are very well policed and meet factory standards," end quote. No one is talking about the factory standards, Kris. We're talking about basically not paying people for making clothes that you're about to sell for $100 a piece. That's the tea. Before we carry on dishing about the Kardashian secrets though, why not take a quick moment to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, maybe consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Kardashian divorce. Remember when Kim K was married to Kris Humphries? Yeah, that was kind of a blip in the Kardashian timeline, but hey, it still happened. They were only married for 72 days, but it was still messy, and their subsequent divorce was just as messy. The cameras for their show Keeping Up with the Kardashians showed off much of their tumultuous marriage, but the cameras were ultimately cut when it came to their divorce, but it wasn't for lack of trying. Kim wanted to film her goodbye call with Kris over Skype, where she was going to say her final farewells and tell him that she really loved him. But Kris saw right through Kim's attempt to get content out of their divorce and flat out refused, saying that he refused to ever be on another episode ever again. Honestly, I can't blame him for making that decision. At number 7, Nanny knows. The Kardashians have been exposed for a lot over the years by countless people. Honestly, this could be its own video in and of itself, if we haven't already done that. Anyways, one of the people that joined the Exposing the Kardashians club was the family's former nanny. The nanny, a woman named Pam Behan, exposed Kris for her parenting. Although Kris looks like a cool, fun mom, almost acting like one of the Kardashian sisters rather than a parent, according to the nanny, that is all a charade and couldn't be farther from the truth. Turns out that Kris was actually a really mean mom. She said that all of the girls were really shallow and even exposed Kris for being mean to Khloe and criticizing her for being overweight. On top of that, according to the nanny, Kris was also a stickler for healthy foods, saying that she was obsessed with keeping produce in the house, and she even exposed her for having a meltdown when she forgot to pick up broccoli. Now that is a very different side of Kris Jenner that we never get to see. At number 6, private investigator. Back to past Kardashian relationships. Remember when Khloe Kardashian and Lamar Odom were a thing? Yeah, super messy, as most Kardashian marriages tend to be, but this one was ultra messy because it turns out that at one point, Khloe hired a private investigator to follow Lamar around to watch if he was cheating on Khloe. This was something that we didn't get to see on the family's reality show, but apparently the private investigator was hired to catch Lamar with at least 5 different mistresses. But why put all this effort into a supposed cheater? Well, it turns out that there was a specific clause in their prenuptial agreement that if one of them was caught cheating, then the divorce settlement payout would be larger to the other party. This means that with the help of her private investigator, Khloe would be able to get a higher settlement in the divorce. The things people do for money. At number 5, who started the show? The family's reality show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, has been on air for so long that it almost feels like it has been on TV forever. Obviously, it wasn't actually on TV since like the beginning of time, but it was certainly a staple in a lot of people's homes. This show really boosted the careers of all of the Kardashians, but who had the original idea for the show? Well, that's up for debate. According to Caitlyn Jenner, she wrote in her book that she was the one who came up with the initial idea for the reality show, not Kris, as many were led to believe. In the memoir, Caitlyn wrote that she told Kris about her idea for the show, saying, quote, "The house is awash in puberty and adolescence and young adulthood, and 2 parents with very different styles. It seems to me something is there for television." End quote. She then goes on to say that Kris then claimed to have come up with the idea for the show and then took it upon herself to pitch the show to Ryan Seacrest, and the rest is history. Talk about starting things off on a sour note. At number 4, always perfect. Kylie and Kendall Jenner are the babies of the Kar Jenner clan, and they were pretty young when they started to rise to fame. Because the cameras were always on them, and because they were starting to gain notoriety on their own, their mom Kris decided that they needed to look perfect at all times to make themselves and the family look better in the eyes of the media. In an interview with Cosmopolitan in 2017, Kylie opened up about this dynamic in her young life and revealed that Kris Jenner had nail techs come to the house every week to do the girls' nails to make sure that they looked as perfect as possible. Kylie said that because this was ingrained in her from such a young age, that this just became a habit of hers even going into her adult life, which is why we see Kylie flexing her new nails on the gram. In the interview, she went into further detail about having to look put together all the time, where she said, quote, "My mom would make us do it. She would have a nail artist come to the house once a week. She would make us get our nails done. She was like, you are never going to look like you're not put together, so we're always getting them done." End quote. At number 3, fake homes. You know how on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, when they start a new scene, a new place, they show the front of the person's house? Well, it turns out that's kind of a lie. The houses that they show in the reality show aren't actually the Kardashians' real houses. In the beginning, they used to show the front of the Kardashians' houses, but soon it became a safety issue as it made it easy for people to find them. Kim opened up about why they decided to use fake houses instead of their real exteriors, saying, quote, "My old home in Beverly Hills was really my home, and I would get people showing up at all hours ringing my gate, and I had to call the police on several occasions. People hopping the gate and scaring me. It was so unsafe. The Hollywood Star Tours would stop by too because they recognized my home from our show. After that, we realized how unsafe it was to show the exterior of our homes, so now we use different homes for the outside for security purposes." Though they do use different homes as the exterior shots, Kim did confirm that they do actually film inside of their real houses. At number 2, original goal. Keeping Up with the Kardashians became a mega hit where people just tuned in to watch the drama unfold with the Kar Jenners.
I would be lying if I said that this show wasn't secretly my guilty pleasure. It's just so chaotic and I love it. But it turns out that the original purpose for the show wasn't just to simply keep up with the Kardashians. They had ulterior motives. According to Mama Kris Jenner, the original purpose for the show was to bring attention to the Kardashians' clothing stores Dash and Smoosh. Their store Dash became the focal point for their reality show spin-offs like Kourtney and Khloe Take Miami and Dash Dolls. During an interview with Variety in 2015, Kim shared how they wanted to use the show to grow their business, saying, quote, "When the opportunity for our TV show came about, I wanted to do it to bring attention to our stores. I was thinking this might not last very long, but will grow a great business and expand online. I thought it would be great press. I didn't think it would turn into what it turned into." End quote. Their stores ended up closing in 2018, but at that point they had so many other things going on and the show wasn't even boosting their business anymore, so really, who cares? And finally, at number 1, new phones. Even a pandemic can't stop the Kardashians from creating content. The 19th season of the reality show was filmed over the course of the lockdown, and it was all done from the inside of the Kardashians' mansions. How they managed to pull all of this off is a little crazy though. Because camera crews weren't considered to be essential workers during California's stay-at-home orders, the Kardashians had to get creative, and so they created a system where every week someone would bring them a new iPhone to film on. They had proper sets built in Kim and Khloe's homes with lighting and the whole 9 yards for their confessionals, but yeah, I still can't get past the iPhone thing. Apparently, a showrunner wearing head-to-toe protective gear would come to the Kardashians' home on Monday morning to bring them a brand new iPhone to start the next cycle of filming. These Kardashians are so crazy.
Kicking off the countdown list, number 10 is her lip injections. Is it really a Kylie Jenner list if it doesn't talk about her lips? I mean, I feel like that would be a sin not to talk about her lips. For years now, her lips have always been the most talked about feature on her body. Believe it or not. Her fans first noticed that as she started to grow older, she seemed to have fuller lips. And for a while, she was telling her fans that it was just lip liner and a photo filter, making them look more full. Over time, she did finally come clean about getting lip injections, and it was revealed that she had them done when she was just a teenager. Turns out she had her first injections when she was just 16 years old. And she said that she kept it a secret because she didn't want people to look at her as a bad influence. Because obviously when you're 16, you have a lot of young fans, and you don't want to be putting needles in your face at 16 years old. Girl, too young. You know what I just thought? That just means Kris Jenner had to sign off on that because you will need parental consent. Coming in next at number 9 is the envy between Kylie and Kendall. When your entire family is famous and everyone has their own businesses running, one might think that there would be some kind of competition going on. I mean, some of their products and businesses are like a conflict of interest with each other. Like they're in competition. But because they are all sisters and they are all very successful, each sister has said that they do not feel threatened by anyone else. But there was some tea spilled and a source claimed that Kendall and Kylie have a secret rivalry that's never really talked about. The sisters seem to be incredibly close to us because of their small age gap and their many collaborations throughout the years. But a source told Radar Online, I quote, "There's so much envy between these two, it's as though they're not happy when the other one is doing well." Some little sister competition going on. I mean, I get that. I feel like there might naturally just be a little bit of envy there. Cruising into number 8 is her hair. Just by following her or seeing some of her pictures, you'd be able to tell that her hair is fake. She switches up her look often, usually sporting bright colored wigs or changing up the length and color of her real hair with hair extensions. But her appearance is important for her brand for many reasons. You probably never stop to think about why she keeps changing her hair. And I don't blame you because there are like a million other more important things to think about. But it turns out that she makes these changes on purpose. She said that changing her hair makes her feel like a new person. And many of us females can totally relate to that. Despite her brand having to do with some of it, there seems to be more personal reasoning behind it too. I mean, I can't say I've never dyed my hair, wanting to feel like a different person. Like, you know, post breakup, I gotta get new hair, I'm a new me. And spot number 7 is her weird collection. Having a collection is not uncommon, even having weird collections isn't uncommon. People collect things all the time, and it kind of just depends on what you think is weird or not. I personally collect stuffed animals, And I'm serious. I call them my furry friends and I love them. And I would love if you guys would let me know in the comments if you have a weird collection. This is a judgment-free zone. Yeah, let me know. But anyways, back to Kylie. Her collection is really random and it's easy to think that it probably has to do with fashion or beauty or skincare, but it turns out it is not even close to that. Turns out she has a collection of rubber ducks and has been collecting them for years. When she was younger, the one thing she always asked for on her birthday was a rubber duck. And she said she still has some of her very first ones. I wonder if she'll pass them along to Stormi, because that would actually be really cute. Sliding into number 6 is the fact that she is shy. Now I know what you're thinking. The way she posts on social media, you wouldn't think that she is necessarily the shy type. She often posts pictures in barely anything clothing and in bikini, showing off her skin and flaunting her curves. The reality is though, who she is on social media and who she is behind the scenes are two totally different people. She appears to have all the confidence in the world, but she's actually quite shy. She was speaking with People magazine when she let it slip that she is a lot more shy than people think, and in really busy situations, she gets anxious and shy very easily. She plays it off well though, especially seeing as there's cameras surrounding her every single day. She seems like a natural. So she is hiding that well. I did not picture her as like the shy type. We are halfway through and we have her secret on makeup. Forbes named her the youngest self-made billionaire after she started her own beauty company, Kylie Cosmetics. Her entire world revolves around makeup, quite literally, since it's basically her full-time income. Unlike her sister Kendall, she doesn't do modeling, and she isn't really in the fashion industry like her other Kardashian sisters. So it might surprise people to learn that even though she created a beauty empire around makeup, she doesn't actually like wearing makeup. She exposed her little secret and said that she only wears makeup because that's what her fans like to see on her social media. She says that she has a passion for makeup, but she doesn't personally like to wear it often, and that there is a difference between the two. I get that. I like makeup. Like, I'm intrigued by makeup. I like makeup. I don't like wearing it though. I can't wait to take it off. Moving along to number 4, Kylie is stubborn. Her biggest fans would love to think that they know everything about her. A big part of having celebrity status is that all your fans think they personally know you. It's kind of weird when you think about it. Like, people obsess over someone that they've never actually met and know nothing about. But even if you thought you knew what she was like, one of her traits that she might not want you knowing about is that she is incredibly stubborn. Welcome to the club, sister. I know all about that. There are many different words that can be used to describe her, and an insider dish that stubborn is one of them. They said, I quote, "If you knew Kylie, she can be very stubborn. When she makes her decisions, she sticks by them." I mean, I feel like that's not necessarily a bad trait though. Or maybe I'm just saying that because I'm stubborn and I want to think it's a good thing, but in some cases, being stubborn isn't really a bad thing. Taking over the 3rd spot is she wants to live behind the scenes. If you look at her social media, you might get the impression that she loves all of the attention that she gets, but the truth is she doesn't. She doesn't like being recognized every time she goes out, and she would rather live a more private life. During an interview with Wonderland magazine, she said, "I want to be a businesswoman and behind the scenes. Kylie Jenner needs to retire." Girl, I hate to break it to ya, but your career is just getting started. She still chooses to live her life in the public eye, but admits that she hates a lot of the attention she gets and the pressures that come along with it. Realistically though, even if she didn't want to live in the public eye anymore, it's kind of too late for that. Like, she could never just go out and people weren't gonna freak out. In spot number 2 is her secret cousin. That's right, apparently Kylie has a cousin that has been behind the shadows this whole time. The craziest part is that she looks like a spitting image of Kylie. You may have already seen her on social media. Her name is Natalie Zettel, and she's the youngest cousin of the family and is a low-key Instagram model. People recently caught on to this unknown little fact, and no one is really sure why we are just finding this out. Natalie is the daughter of Kris Jenner's younger sister. People found out about her after a picture of her and Kylie started surfacing on the internet. When you see them together side by side without all the makeup and hair and wigs and all of that, you can tell that they're related, and it's kind of cute. She's beautiful. Finally, we have made it to number 1, and we have her pregnancy was unexpected. All right, so the majority of us, this isn't really a secret. I feel like we all assumed this anyway, but it's totally not fair to judge someone that we don't even know on whether or not they planned on getting pregnant. Because really, we don't know what happened behind the scenes. The world went into a frenzy when the rumors first started, and Kylie completely went MIA and hid it from the entire world. When she first found out about her pregnancy, she wanted to keep that moment for herself rather than live it out in front of the world, where she says that she would have been judged for it, which she probably would have because she was so young. She admits that she did not plan on getting pregnant, but that it was the most amazing experience nonetheless. I mean, I get it. If I was her age and had that platform and I unexpectedly got pregnant, the amount of anxiety I would have, I wouldn't even want to tell my own parents, let alone the entire world.
Keep your friends close and enemies closer. Not for Beyonce. She needs to keep a closer eye on her inner circle because they have betrayed her by spreading evil lies. Thank you, Beyonce. And no, I'm not thanking her, but many celebrities have, and there's a bizarre theory around why. It's alleged that one of the closest people in her inner circle started this theory, and while we are still uncertain if there's any truth to it, it certainly is worth digging into. What started out as a conspiracy theory is now a trend that has everyone on social media thanking Beyonce. This all began when social media users noticed an unusual trend in celebrity artists thanking Beyonce in their acceptance speeches after being nominated for major awards. Although the artists did not collaborate with Beyonce or work with her in any way to create the awarded projects, the many artists still use their acceptance speeches as a moment to express their admiration and high regard for the singer. This has occurred particularly at the Grammy Awards. So in 2017, English singer-songwriter Adele thanked Beyonce when accepting the award for Album of the Year. Adele did not feel deserving of the award, as she acknowledged that Beyonce's album, titled Lemonade, was also nominated in the same category. Adele said during her acceptance speech, "I can't possibly accept this award, and I'm very humbled, and I'm very grateful and gracious, but the artist of my life is Beyonce." This occurred again in 2023 when American rapper and singer Lizzo thanked Beyonce after winning Record of the Year. At the time, Beyonce's song titled Break My Soul was also nominated in the same category. During her speech, Lizzo reflected on her first Destiny's Child concert and how she was enamored by Beyonce's vocals. Lizzo expressed, "I was I want to make people feel this way with my music, so thank you so much." Beyonce has also been acknowledged on various award stages by celebrities like Megan Thee Stallion, Lady Gaga, and Britney Spears. These harmless acceptance speeches are now being interpreted as a negative narrative towards Beyonce, questioning her character and, her prominent role in the music industry. It is challenging to identify exactly why the public has sought this reaction, though conspiracy theorists believe celebrities praise Beyonce in their acceptance speeches because they understand her immense influence over the music industry and wish to remain successful in the public eye. One source said this conspiracy theory started with the passing of Aaliyah, who is the queen of urban pop who redefined contemporary R&B in the 1990s. Some people argue that her passing gave Beyonce the space to become the icon that she is today. In J. Cole's 2013 song She Knows, he mentions Aaliyah's passing. Now, some of the more deranged and unhinged TikTok users connect that song with Beyonce's friendship with P. Diddy, who has been at the center of conspiracy theories connected to Aaliyah's passing for years. The theory goes like this: thank Beyonce or face the consequences. Celebrities do tend to thank Beyonce a lot. Now, Kanye, rushed the stage when Taylor Swift beat Beyonce for Album of the Year. The list honestly goes on and on and on. The celebrity thanking has reached TikTok, of course, where users are thanking Beyonce at Thanksgiving, or for their dog not having cancer, or literally for nothing. So the question is, have you thanked Beyonce today? Is Beyonce to blame for Liam Payne's passing? One source close to the singer has spread this crazy theory. Following the unexpected passing of Liam Payne, a new theory has emerged, implicating none other than Beyonce, Jay-Z, and P. Diddy. Now imagine the worldwide shock if any of this turned out to be true. Fans in the music industry are still shocked by the news of Liam Payne's passing. Although details, still remain kind of unclear, the coroner has already ruled out foul play for the former One Direction singer. But in the wake of his passing, fans began theorizing what might have happened, and One theory suggests that Beyonce was seen staying in the same hotel where Payne tragically fell from a third-floor balcony. On its own, this fact might seem insignificant, but social media detectives have supposedly found countless other connections between Payne's passing and Beyonce. In a past video, Payne is reported to have warned others to ignore Beyonce, even implying that she was dangerous. Payne also openly expressed a less than friendly view of P. Diddy, describing his smile and laughter as devilish and his presence as very unpleasant. Now, supporters of these theories believe that Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Diddy are just so powerful in the music world, that nearly every award show features celebrities, again, like I just spoke about, thanking Beyonce for their success, fearful of the supposed consequences of doing otherwise. Now, the suggestion is that, the lack of respect for the trio could mean career-ending repercussions. Now, while these theories might seem, outrageous, the internet is filled with those who find meaning in them. Conspiracy theories fulfill a certain, psychological need, even though the most far-fetched ideas lack evidence. Social media algorithms, boost emotionally charged stories, making it easier than ever to just spread these theories. The theory, though, may not add up because, first and foremost, neither Beyonce nor Liam Payne has publicly, in the past or now for Beyonce, even indicated any connection that would lend credibility to these claims. Okay, Beyonce's career has focused on, of course, creating music, empowering messages, maintaining a positive image, and, of course, her social justice work. Meanwhile, Payne, as a former member of One Direction, has navigated his own path, post, boy band, encountering personal challenges, like any other high-profile celebrity might. The idea that there would be any, antagonism or hidden influence between them is unfounded, so take this all in, of course, with a grain of salt and come up with your own conclusion. Either way, rest in peace, Liam. Few theories to share with former Hills stars Spencer and Heidi Pratt about Beyonce and Jay-Z on an episode of the couple's Make Spidey Famous Again podcast. Now, Rose said she suspects Gwyneth Paltrow is Jay-Z's alleged mistress, who Beyonce dubbed Becky with the good hair on Lemonade. On the infamous Lemonade track, Sorry, Beyonce sings, "He only want me when I'm not there, he better call Becky with the good hair." The lyrics have been a mega mystery ever since, as fans have wondered, who could dare step between Jay and Bey. Now, a lot of speculation surrounded fashion designer Rachel Roy, who even captioned a now deleted Instagram post, "Good hair don't care," after Lemonade was released. But Rose has a different theory. She speculated on the podcast, saying that she definitely thinks that Gwyneth Paltrow is Becky with the good hair, and she feels like, she's the one who was sleeping with Jay-Z. Rose, who doesn't actually have investigative proof on the situation, explained her theory, saying the once public friendship between Paltrow and Beyonce seems to have hit a lull, since Sorry came out and was released shortly after the Goop CEO and Coldplay singer Chris Martin announced their divorce. Now, Rose thinks the timing all makes sense. Amber continued to say they were like friends, and then you don't see Gwyneth Paltrow and Beyonce anymore, but Beyonce's still with Jay. Though she admitted that she doesn't actually know if Paltrow and Jay-Z ever had an affair, Rose noted, "I'm surprised no one has thought of this." Rose is correct when she says that the pair of, A-listers did appear to, boast a close relationship in the past, and that they haven't hit red carpet worthy events together for some time. As Paltrow shared with Ellen DeGeneres on the Comedian's Talk Show in 2010, she and Beyonce actually met at a charity event sometime in the 2000s. She actually said to Ellen, "We just kind of hooked up, hit it off, and became really close friends." Paltrow has apparently been good friends with Beyonce and Jay-Z for years, calling the two some the greatest people ever during a 2015 radio interview on the Howard Stern show. She added at that time, "They are funny and sweet and self-aware and really intelligent." As for the cheating allegations, Paltrow's rep said it is completely absurd and 100% false. Beyonce and Jay-Z reportedly separated for a year in 2005, as revealed in the 2015 biography Becoming Beyonce by J. Randy Taraborelli. He suggested that the split coincided with Jay's scouting of Rihanna, sparking rumors of a supposed affair. Now, speaking to Entertainment Tonight at the time, Taraborelli said Beyonce didn't know what to make of this, and it actually ended up breaking them up for a time. They spent maybe a year apart from each other because Beyonce just wasn't sure what to make of the situation with Rihanna. Now, in a candid chat with BBC's Newsbeat, Tara Borelli defended his bombshell claims despite not speaking directly with Beyonce for his book. He said, well, my job as a biographer is to take a look at, all of the persistent rumors and see if it is possible to unpack them. We found the publicist who was working for one of Rihanna's producers. His job was to promote Rihanna's first single, Pon de Replay. He went on to expose a manufactured scandal, saying in that capacity he began to float the untrue story that Rihanna and Jay were having an affair. This was not true. We interviewed him and he confessed that he planted the story in an effort to promote Rihanna. Now, further shedding light on this web of deception, the former publicist Jonathan Hay confirmed Tara Borelli's story, offering apologies to music power couple Jay-Z and Beyoncé after spreading, the false information. Despite safeguarding the identity of those who provided insights, Tara Borelli notes his sources have nothing to gain by talking to him, and often, they had a lot to lose, also claiming that it was people in Beyonce's inner circle that corroborated these claims and provided him more insight. So, the shade of that all, right? Now, the author elaborated on his credibility, saying, this is my 18th book. I've had like 14 bestsellers, so, me and my research team, we really have sort of like a gut for this work. I can tell when somebody is being honest. Everybody is interviewed and re-interviewed, and then their stories are compared with other stories of people who are in the same situations. So we really do a lot of work to corroborate everything that we hear. Now, despite allegations of a split, neither Jay-Z nor Beyonce have, of course, made any public remarks on this.
Now, we all know that Jay-Z has been friends with Diddy for years. They became friends in the 90s and they collaborated on multiple projects together. They became two of the biggest names in the music industry as they each had their own labels. Diddy founded Bad Boy Entertainment, launched in 1993, and Jay-Z's Rockefeller Records, founded a year later. Now, surprisingly though, there was no rivalry among the two rappers, who remained supportive of each other's work. Now, from there, their bond just grew. After a photo of Diddy and Jay-Z chatting it up during his birthday party was showcased at the Rock and Roll of Hip Hop exhibition, Diddy opened up about his friendship with the fellow rapper and said, "That was one of my birthday parties and I was just telling him I appreciate him coming." He further added he was on tour and he flew in private after one of his shows just to come to the party, then he had to fly back out. "I was just telling him how much I appreciate it and how much I value our friendship. People see us as competitors and different icons in the hip hop game, but that was just a moment of two black brothers telling each other how much they appreciate each other." Their bond was strong, and Jay-Z even got Beyonce involved in the friendship. Now, the power couple would be seen at a bunch of Diddy's parties, where they would even debut some of their new music there. I mean, in the past couple of years, they were still praising each other in the public, as Diddy was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2022 BET Awards. Jay-Z paid a special tribute to him with a video. Now, with their friendship on full display, it shocked people that Jay-Z nor Beyonce spoke up when Diddy's houses were raided in March or when he was arrested in September. Now, some people called this out, like 50 Cent. He posted a picture of the rapper's face on a milk carton with the words "missing" on Instagram and added in the caption, "Anybody seen Jay? LOL," joking he ain't been answering his phone. Now, many people were waiting for Jay-Z to speak up, and because he didn't, people started to suspect that he had something to do with the crimes Diddy committed. I mean, they partied and were together a lot. This would certainly be plausible. Now, we finally got the answer on December 8th as Jay-Z was named in a refiled lawsuit against Diddy. Now, the general public knew about this lawsuit in October, but new details emerged that placed Jay-Z as a perpetrator of the crime committed alongside Diddy. The anonymous accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, said the incident happened after she was driven to an MTV Video Music Awards afterparty in the year 2000. After the awards, she was driven to a White House where she had to sign an NDA. There, she said she was offered a drink that made her feel woozy, lightheaded, and it felt like she needed to lie down, so she went into a room to rest. Shortly afterwards, the suit says Diddy and Jay-Z entered the room, with Diddy saying, "You're ready to party." That's when she alleges she was taken advantage of by both men, while an unnamed female celebrity watched. Now, could that female celebrity be Beyonce? Just maybe. Now, after the alleged incident, the suit says Jane Doe grabbed her clothes and left. She made her way to a gas station where she called her father. Now, this sounds extremely real, as a former party planner for Diddy, who worked for him during 2004 and 2005 and wished to remain anonymous, spoke to some news outlets about the disgraced musicians' parties. They stated that women attending these parties were subjected to weight checks. We would do a weigh-in if necessary. The girls had to be young and hot, so I always had a scale nearby in case I needed to make sure. The number was 140 pounds, but if a girl was really tall, there was a little bit of discretion involved, said the planner, adding that the other requirements included no flab, no cellulite, not overly pierced or tattooed, and no short hair. Now, seems like this Jane Doe fit the description of exactly what Diddy wanted. It was also revealed that Diddy would make people sign NDAs to attend his parties. A document released showed that guests were issued strict rules on discussing Diddy, his associates, and any activities or individuals present at his events. The NDA reportedly forbade guests from sharing any information about Diddy, his family members, current or former partners, or friends. Now, under the agreement, attendees were restricted from taking photos, filming, or recording anything at these events without his written consent. Now, something that makes these NDAs quite unique is that it's enforceable for either 70 years or the artist's lifetime plus an additional 20 years, whichever is longer. Now, this is a duration that is far exceeding standard NDAs. Now, Jay-Z was actually spotted the day after the lawsuit was filed. Jay attended the premiere of a movie with Beyonce where their daughter Blue Ivy voiced one of the characters. It was the first time Jay-Z had been spotted in public since the accusations, and sources with direct knowledge told the Post that before the allegations, it was rumored that Jay-Z and Beyonce were not planning on going to the premiere. However, they appear to have a change of heart after the lawsuit. Beyonce forced Jay-Z to go to the premiere last night, an insider told DailyMail.com. They're working with a crisis specialist who's advising them on how to handle this. Beyonce believes that the best way is to face it head on. Blue Ivy is well aware of what's going on and is intent on supporting her father in any way she can. She was there in solidarity with her dad and mom. Beyonce will do anything she can to keep their family together, but is also concerned that more women might come forward with lies. So it seems like Beyonce is standing with her husband, but this just makes her look really bad and even guilty. Like mentioned before, she had attended plenty of Diddy parties herself. Now, Beyonce and Jay-Z once attended one of Diddy's New Year's Eve parties, and the couple spent time with Diddy ringing in the new year of 2014 in Miami. Now, the weird thing is there are articles about them being there, but all the photos of the night have disappeared. Strange, right? Well, in one article, it said that Jay-Z and Beyonce were off in a corner dancing and greeting people, an insider said. Drake came with a posse of friends and took over the turntables, and T.I. and Jamie Foxx were chatting and hanging out during the event. Pharrell Williams was also in attendance, the source adds. Now, it was reported that Beyonce wasn't wearing any pants, and that some people say she was later seen in the swimming pool, looking dazed and confused. It's just strange all around, and the couple also attended the music mogul's 50th birthday party in 2019. But we've been told by insiders that these parties are not what they seem, and that a lot of messed up things happen at them. Former music industry insider Tom Swoop had attended a couple of the parties, and he shared with the public what would happen behind the scenes. He broke down how the parties worked for viewers and claimed that the parties were separated into tiers of access. There was general admission, then a series of tiers ending with entrance to the inner circle, where the real partying went on. Now, this allegedly included humiliating male and female guests on the promise of record deals or money. Yeah, now why does this kind of sound like a cult or some sort of ritual? Ugh, I do not like it. Now, Tom went on to say that there were a lot of substances present and that Diddy played a horrible so-called joke on a young artist. He said Diddy wanted the artist to do a certain act, and if he did it, Diddy would give him $100,000 and a record deal before claiming it was a joke when the young artist was about to do it. Tom claimed Diddy told him, "I can make anybody do anything because this life is what they want, and I got the keys to the castle." Now, Tom didn't like any of this though, so he left the party thinking, if this what goes on behind the curtain and you're all comfortable with this, nah, I don't want this life. He added there were so many celebrities there who were cool with who he was and what he did to entertain them. It's not isolated, he added. You all need to think of everybody when you think of him and the access and the amount of people who were there. So it seems like Jay-Z was cool with all this going on. But what about Beyonce? Beyoncé? Is she just wrapped up in this, or did she actively participate in it?
Jay-Z and R. Kelly have worked together on 2 joint albums, Best of Both Worlds and Unfinished Business. They even went on tour together for the Best of Both Worlds tour, which was supposed to take place in 2002, but was pushed back to 2004 after allegations surfaced. Now, usually an artist working with another artist is not a cause for concern, but it is when the other artist is R. Kelly. So to give you some background, for more than 2 decades, chart-topping R&B singer R. Kelly had faced allegations of SA. Now, the accounts went back to the start of his career in the 1990s, with many centering on the predatory pursuit of young women. Now, in 1994, R. Kelly married Aaliyah, who was underage at the time, and Aaliyah lied about her age on the wedding certificate, listing herself as an adult. The marriage was annulled in February of 1995, but fast forward to 2002, Kelly was sued by Patrice Jones, a Chicago woman who claimed he got her pregnant when she was underage and she was forced to forego the pregnancy. Now, another woman by the name of Montina Woods also sued Kelly, alleging that he videotaped them being intimate without her knowledge. The recording was allegedly circulated on a tape sold by bootleggers under the title R. Kelly XXX. R. Kelly was later charged with 21 counts of making SA videos. He immediately denied the charges and pleaded not guilty in court. Now, during the time all of this was going on, R. Kelly was out on bail, releasing music videos, and yes, going on tour with Jay-Z. Jay-Z knew what was happening, was aware of the accusations, and still decided to continue not only his professional relationship with Kelly, but also his personal. Now, they stayed close friends, and in an interview back then when it was happening, Jay-Z said, "If he's guilty, I hope he gets help. If he's innocent, I hope people stand by him and apologize." That didn't age well. Now, the singer settled both cases out of court, paying undisclosed sums in return for non-disclosure agreements. Now, in 2021, R. Kelly was convicted, and in 2022, he was jailed for 30 years after being found guilty of 8 counts of racketeering and other charges in a New York court. R. Kelly was very recently sentenced to an additional 20 years, and now with this coming up, it has drawn more attention to Jay-Z because many people have said Jay-Z is just as predatory as R. Kelly and did to Beyonce what Kelly did to Aaliyah. The only difference is that Jay hit it better. There's demand from several people online wanting Jay-Z's past to be more carefully looked at through another lens now, especially since he's at the center of a new SA lawsuit that involves Diddy. Foxy Brown, let's talk about it. It has been reported many times that Jay-Z had an inappropriate relationship with Foxy Brown. They met in the mid-90s and they began collaborating on music projects. Now, she was apparently very young when they met and he was in his 20s, and in 1995 they recorded a song together that was extremely inappropriate for a young woman to be recording. It was explicit, talked about intimate acts, and just wasn't something anyone should be privy to at that age. Fast forwarding to the fall of 2024, Foxy Brown addressed relationship rumors with Jay-Z in a series of Instagram story posts. So Foxy Brown attempted to debunk rumors that she and Jay-Z had an intimate relationship when she was younger. Brown initially posted and addressed a screenshot of a tweet alleging Jay made her sign an NDA, among other things, calling it fake news. She wrote, "Miss me with that fake news, NDA and an MF alive could stop my story." She then posted a screenshot of a YouTube video saying she's breaking her silence about Jay-Z and references one of her IG stories where she tells someone, "My story will shock you to your core. I don't play victim, but I had to step away for a minute for my sanity or I would have been gone. Stop playing with my name." She then added, "Comprehension is a lost art and y'all want me to be anti-host so bad." Rumors of their relationship actually date back to 2001 when rapper Nas mentioned their alleged relationship on his diss song Ether. Now, jumping forward to the recent allegations against Jay-Z and Diddy with the SA lawsuit from a Jane Doe, Foxy Brown appeared online again, suddenly weighing in on the accusations, sharing her Instagram stories saying, "Wow," and "Wait," with a shocked face emoji. Her third and final post was just a cold blue face emoji. Now, although Foxy has not confirmed that her posts are about Jay-Z and Diddy being accused of SAing a young woman at an MTV Video Music Awards party in 2000, many people are led to believe and speculate that it is, because at this point, what else would make Foxy react online that way? Bad business practices. Was Jay-Z writing bad checks? Well, in 2003, reports claim that two companies filed separate lawsuits against Jay-Z's nightclub that was named 4040 for a total of $46,000 in unpaid bills, claiming they received rubber checks from 21's Inc., which is Jay's company. Now, one company named Ronald Mark Associates was hired to create 30 custom tables that cost him $18,000. Apparently, Jay only put $5,000 down and the company was owed the rest, being about $13,000, but Jay never paid. Ron Berkowitz, a spokesperson for the Club 4040, downplayed the allegations, claiming that the bouncing checks are a burn wrap, whatever that means. It was reported that club employees were ducking phone calls, and that lawsuit was actually settled for about $1,114.59 to be exact on November 2nd, 2003. Jay-Z tried to countersue, saying the tables were not ready in time, so they weren't going to pay the full amount. Regardless, the West 25th Street nightclub 4040, which was actually named after baseball's biggest achievement, so players who hit 40 home runs and stole 40 bases in one season, survived and actually thrived. It has been a standout lounge with luxurious decor, sports memorabilia, and guests have enjoyed upscale bar cuisine and drinks. Now, unfortunately, if this has made you want to visit, think again, because after nearly 2 decades in business, in 2023, they closed its OG location. So many people actually believe that Jay-Z was the reason for them closing, saying his past has come back to bite him. But apparently that's not why. And although no real reason has been given to why they closed, they actually do plan to reopen at a new location in 2025, so keep your eyes peeled for that if overpriced pub food and underpoured drinks are your thing. Now, Jay-Z's love children. Yes, aside from the 3 offspring he shares with Beyonce, let's talk about the others that are not so loved. Back in 2010, rumors circulated that Jay-Z had hooked up with an adult film star named Jasmine Cashmere. A few months later, Jasmine's friend were spreading news of a pregnancy, saying that Jay was the father. Now, Jasmine actually took to Twitter to deny the accusation, saying, "No, I am not pregnant by Jay-Z or any rapper from New York." Jay-Z also made a public statement as well, saying that he and Jasmine had never even crossed paths. It was supposedly a friend, however, that tipped off the news, saying that Jay had paid Jasmine $2.5 million to just disappear. The news outlet, being the National Enquirer, was able to confirm that the star, being Jasmine, bought a new house around that exact same time. And no one has bothered Jay since the alleged payout, so is that a coincidence? I think not. There was another rumor that Jay-Z has another child with Trinidadian model Chanel Scott. Back in 2002, Jay and Chanel had an open relationship while she was actually seeing another man. And so it was assumed that her child was her boyfriend's, but as her son grew up, the man rejected him as his own because the boy looked nothing like him. He actually looked like Jay-Z. And after a paternity test confirmed that Jay is the father, he did step up and took responsibility. He bought Chanel and his son a nice home in Trinidad, gave them $1 million. He also pays child support monthly, so that's good. And so yeah, it's safe to say Beyonce knows about this one, as we all do now. And apparently they're actually still friends who keep in contact. She said Jay is a good father, and one of Chanel's friends said, you know, it was a big ol' mess at one time, but I think once they resolved the issue of fatherhood, paternity, things started to level off. Funny enough, representatives at the time for Jay-Z had actually come out and said initially, there's no truth to these ridiculous rumors. People should be ashamed of using this kind of story and exploiting a child for publicity and ratings. But wait, there's more. One of Jay-Z's former friends claimed in 2022 that Jay has a secret adult daughter that resides in a home that Jay-Z purchased for her in Cambridge, Maryland, and that he pays her bills but allegedly does not allow her to put pictures of him around her house as part of their deal. Her name is Letitia Macer, who is now 34 years old. Now, she came out and claimed she is Jay-Z's secret daughter and shows DNA proof to support her claims. Jay-Z apparently used to date her mom Lisa back in the day, and Letitia was born in the early 90s, which makes sense. Now, she was quoted saying, "I've been quiet for far too long. Join me as I tell you my story of living in the shadows of being Jay-Z's daughter in a city where everyone knew he was my father. There's no way he can deny anything, especially when there were people that were there that knew him." Lisa's sister Terry even wrote a Facebook post, like a story, saying, "I know the story from start to finish. I hooked your mother and father up years ago." She said her and Lisa actually called Jay up on the phone to tell him about his daughter Letitia, and his exact words were, "Do you know how many women call here daily and say Jay-Z the baby daddy?" Anyway, Letitia apparently spends her days posting old photos on Instagram and videos that are to convince the public that she is Jay's daughter. And so I went on to go do some digging because I wanted to see what her Instagram was all about. Firstly, let me tell you, her Instagram handle is at Jay-Z's first daughter. I don't know, I thought that was kind of funny. Like, if to the point was a person, it would be her. Now, anyway, I didn't get far because her account is set to private, which is odd considering her goal here, so womp womp. But maybe she'll accept my request to follow, and then I'll come back and I'll let you guys know what's going on there. Now, with all the recent controversies surrounding Jay-Z right now, it's reported she has more to say and doesn't plan on keeping quiet at all.